Shelbourne took a giant step towards the league title when scoring twice in each of their last two league outings.
Oh, there it is, a good quality ball. It's O'Halloran scored.
Tonight, Pat Fenlon's team face a Cork side who themselves harbour ambitions of European action next season. However, a win for the Dubliners tonight would almost certainly copper fasten their title aspirations. It's Cork City versus Shelbourne at Turner's Cross. Live coverage here on RTE2 television and on the RTE website worldwide. Yes, hello there, and you're very welcome to a packed Turner's Cross, a blustery old evening here in Cork City. This time last year, Cork were winning the league with a win against Derry here on the final day of the season. Tonight, a win for the visitors Shelbourne, and they could well be on their way to their third league title in the last 4 seasons. Some record that. Now, I'm joined here as ever by Roddy Collins and Dave Barry. A very good evening to you two guys. Roddy, I suppose it's a pity in a way that the arbitrator still hasn't decided whether Shelbourne are going to have that extra game against Bohemians.
Well, sorry, Con, sorry for the, I'd say he's going to have a very uncomfortable night tonight, because he obviously has his decision made and he's hoping it's taken out of his hands by Shelbourne today, and I hope, and I've said it all on that, it's one on the park.
And Dave, I'm sure that's what Pat Fenlon will be saying to his players: go out, win the match here tonight, and that will put an end to a lot of that.
There's no doubt about it, Con. I think Shelbourne have come down here for the last 2 years and haven't won down here. So, you know, to come down here into the reigning champions' backyard and actually win tonight and win the league will be a great boost for them.
Yeah, that is a factor actually. Shelbourne haven't won match here at Turner's Cross against Cork City for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Damien Richardson has never lost a match as Cork manager here in Cork against Shelbourne as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, that could go out the window tonight. It's a game, if Shelbourne win this game, it's almost certainly going to lift the championship, and that's all beyond our minds. History doesn't come into the situation. It's the 90 minutes tonight, and I think Shelbourne have the firepower and they have the momentum to go and do it tonight.
Very good atmosphere at the ground tonight, Dave, and of course for Cork City, even if the title is maybe a step too far, vital points on offer with the UEFA Cup spot.
Yeah, it's vital, especially with the result Drogheda got the other night. Everybody's fighting for that third spot. But with Roy O'Donovan got up front, it's been, you know, City are finishing the season on a high. He's after getting 7 goals in the last 6 games, so it's going to be a cracking game tonight. I think, you know, both teams are going to go out to win this game.
Yeah, goals have been a problem for Cork City this season, though. If you compare Shelbourne with 57 versus Cork's tally, which is almost 20 less than that, yeah, maybe that's the difference.
Well, that reflects on the squad, Con. When you look at the two squads of players, the firepower that Shelbourne have, not only the prolific strikers that they have, but they get goals from all areas, where Cork are dependent solely on 1 or 2 prolific goal scorers and a couple of set pieces. So that's why I keep feeling tonight it's an even Steven game. 2 good football sides, but Shells have the firepower.
All right, well, it is a very, very important match here at Turner's Cross tonight, but an equally important match tonight at Richmond Park, where St Patrick's Athletic take on Derry City, who are still in with a chance of the title, albeit a very slim one. It's a dress rehearsal of the FAI Cup as well. So let's go to Richmond Park and Adrian Eames.
Thanks very much, Con. Good evening from Richmond Park. A lot of rain in Dublin over the last few hours, but thankfully in the last 10 minutes or so the rain has subsided. But the pitch here will be quite zippy tonight, given all the rain we've had during the course of the day. Well, it's been a difficult few days for Derry City and their fans. What with the news that Stephen Kenny is set to depart and join Dunfermline at the end of the Aircom League season. He'll take charge tomorrow week of Dunfermline and then return to manage Derry City for the FAI Cup final. And of course, as you mentioned tonight, it's an FAI Cup final dress rehearsal with St Pat's here at Richmond Park. Pats have been in very fine form of late, but mind you, their bubble was burst on Monday night when they lost here to Cork City by a 1-0 Derry City, for their part, well, it's a slim chance they have now of winning the league title. Simply, they must win here against St Pat's and hope things go their way at Turner's Cross in order to prolong the race for the league title. In terms of team news, well, for Pats, Keith Fahey has been ruled out. He suffered a bout of food poisoning during the week, so he misses out, as I say. For Derry, mixed news. Mark Farren has been passed fit to play, a key player for them, but Paddy McCourt has to be content with the place on the bench. We kick off here at 7:45.
Okay, thank you, Adrian. Very important match there. Equally important match here, as I said beforehand. And we can hear from the two managers now. They've been speaking with Tony O'Donovan.
Damien, around this time last year you were winning the league title here at Turner's Cross. It could go to Shells this evening. It could. It's an exciting climax once again, Tony. That's the most important thing from the Outcome League's point of view. From our personal point of view, it's been a season that started off very, very well, had a great middle part, and hit a little hiccup at an important part of the season. So to finish off with the games of this importance is very necessary, I think, because it shows that despite the problems we've had, we're still good enough to be involved right up to the very end. But Shelbourne are a very good side. The test tonight is a big one, but I think we're ready for it.
You're making just one change in the side?
Yes, I am. I'm bringing Killian Lorden back in. The tight pitch in which you called last week, I felt needed Brian O'Callaghan to come in, do a very good job for us, which he did. Then you have to take him out after a very good performance, which is a hard part of management. But Killian Lorden has been very good down the right, so we need to get as much width as we possibly can this evening. There'll be nip and tuck in this game, as there always is in the games between Shelbourne and Cork City. They have a very, very high calibre and a high reputation to maintain because of the last couple of seasons in particular. So somebody's going to win it with a bit of quality, or maybe a mistake. But I think width is where we've got what we've got to do tonight. We've got to get the ball wide, get around Shelbourne, and get as many balls into the box for O'Donovan.
Pat, it could be a huge night for you. You could win the league this evening.
Yeah, we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about winning the game first. We can win the game, and whatever happens, happens. But it's a big game for us. It's a tough game. Our record is not brilliant at the moment down here, so that's something we want to put right as well.
What about any team news? Have you got a clean bill of health?
No, well, Joseph Dow won't be involved at all. He's damaged his hamstring last week or this week in Sligo. And now here he's only had one training session in 4 weeks, so he may make the bench, but he definitely won't make the starting 11.
Now you'll have to consider what goes on at St. Pat's as well, of course. Will you be making arrangements to listen to that or to get any communication to the dugout?
No, we've been involved in this situation before. It's something I've never done. It's what happens. There's not a lot I can do about it, worrying about it. So if it's to be, it's to be. If it's not to be. So we just concentrate on our own game and try to win the game here.
Yeah, concentrating on what they have to do here, Dave. But I just wonder, will some Shelbourneers be listening out for what's going on in Richmond Park and what Derry City are doing?
Well, I'm sure at half time some of the lads will look to the backroom staff and maybe get one or two. But I think Shelbourne know they're coming down here. You know, probably last year was very disappointing for them. They were out of running the league very early, and now they're back in it. And I'm sure they'd love to come here to the reigning champions and win tonight.
Roddy, you're pals with everybody at Shelbourne these days. Do you fancy they'll do it tonight?
I think I've said it from the start of the season. They're the best squad of players, and I think they're strong enough to go and finish the job tonight.
Okay, well, let's see how they go here. It is a packed Turner's Cross. Great atmosphere here, as ever. Time for us to join our commentary team with Pat Morley and first Darragh Maloney.
Con, thank you very much indeed. Well, it's a sellout here at Turner's Cross. It nearly always is for the visit of Shelbourne. It could be a night of celebration for them, but you have to say it's a little eerie as well, with Damien Richardson's future in doubt, Pat Fenlon's future also in the balance, and indeed Brian Lennox, who's the Cork City chairman, is also stepping down after their trip to Derry next week. This is his last home game as chairman of Cork City. You'll see the player escorts, Cork City's show of support for the International Football Against Racism campaign. That's been run right across Europe this weekend. Now there's Dan Murray, the Cork City captain. The referee tonight is Ian Stokes. Let's have a look at the Cork City team for this evening. Killian Lorden into their starting 11. He'll play on the right side of midfield after his appearance as a substitute in the win against St. Pat's. Colin O'Brien is over his hamstring injury. He plays in midfield. Neil Fenn and Danny Murphy play their last home games for the club. Fenn is off to Bohemians, while Murphy is joining Motherwell. Now to move on to Shelbourne, they're without Joseph and Doe. They are still without their captain Owen Heary, troubled by hamstring difficulties. Greg O'Halloran starts in midfield against his former club, with Alan Moore also in the middle of the park. He made both goals against Sligo when he came on the other night. Jason Byrne is still on the bench for Shelbourne this evening. In the huddle, Roy O'Donovan wearing number 12, top scorer for Cork City in the league, and of course in the Ireland B squad for that match to come against Scotland B. And there is Killian Lorden starting this evening. Brian O'Callaghan, the player to miss out. He is on the bench for Cork City tonight. Cork City in green and white, as you can see, playing from left to right in the first half. Thankfully the rain is cleared away, but the pitch, Pat, it'll certainly zip about. There's the referee, by the way, in Stokes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, normally down here, Damien, before the games gets watered quite a bit, but as usual this time of the year in Cork, it normally is raining anyway. I think we'll have a cracking game because, I mean, tonight you look at Shelbourne, they're leading goal scorers in the league, and you've got Cork City, who are the best defensive record in the league. But, you know, there's always been cracking games here. Both sides are very, very well committed. You know, two good teams, two good clubs. Hopefully it'll be a cracking game, and I'm sure the Cork people won't want to see Shells lift the trophy here tonight either.
What a night as well for Greg O'Halloran, former Cork City captain.
Yeah, I mean, Greg, like myself, obviously a couple of years ago, moved up to Shells, and it's something that you always enjoy coming back to play in Cork. Obviously I got an awful lot of abuse, like Greg would have got as well, but I'm sure he's going to relish it tonight, and he's a good lad, and he needed to do it for himself, you know, and I'm sure he'd be delighted to pick up a league medal to go with the one he won last year. But I'm sure the Cork City lads will do everything in their power to stop that happening.
Now the referee just hanging on because there's some debris, some bunting I suppose, thrown onto the pitch over on the far side, so we're just waiting for that to be cleared. That has now been done. And of course Ollie Cahill, a former Cork City man, playing for Shelbourne here at Turner's Cross this evening.
Yeah, Ali probably won't like me not mentioning him there, but he's probably one of the older Judases now, as they call him down here. So they're only interested in Greg tonight. But hopefully the best team will win tonight, and it'll be a cracking game of football.
Well, it's a brilliant atmosphere, great crowd, decent support as well. Have made the journey down from Dublin. Of course, this match starting, what, about 8 minutes behind the game at Richmond Park, ahead indeed of the game at Richmond Park between Derry City and St Patrick's Athletic. O'Donovan involved, and now Lorden for Cork City. The reigning champions, remember. Stuart Byrne breaks up the attack. Horgan putting plenty of air on that, a difficult one. Dillon headed away, and Gamble looking for a deflection. He's claiming it went out for a corner, not given.
No, but I mean, it's a very, very bright start from Cork City, and I mean, again, it's been, you know, Roy Donovan got the ball down the line. I mean, he was up centre forward, and Killian's done really, really well. You know, it's a great ball into the box. It's not cleared well enough. I mean, it's on Joe Gamble's probably wrong foot, and he's probably sort of bellied up there with the camera by the corner flag. But a very bright start by Cork City.
There's O'Donovan. Really isn't an awful lot of wind here at Turner's Cross. The flag's over on the far side, perfectly still. Glenn Crowe for Shelbourne. Harris. Dillon, as you see, playing right side of the defence. He can play anywhere across their back four. Here's Danny Murphy. Last home game for him, sure to be an emotional night.
Yeah, and he's been a great servant since he's come over, and you know, he'd be sadly missed because he's been a fantastic left full back and probably one of the best in the country, and I'm sure he'll get a great reception tonight, win, lose or draw, and he will normally be the last fella to leave the pitch as well because he likes a little bit of praise as well. So, you know, it's been fantastic in fairness to the club, and also the same for Neil Fenn tonight, it looks like. So, a bit of an emotional night for the two lads.
Well, there's a souvenir for somebody in the crowd over there. Now have a new football as O'Brien goes to ground for Cork City. No foul, it's a throw into Shelbourne. O'Neill looking for a back, Alan Moore there as well. Harris with the header. Now Fenn. Colin Hawkins, Alan Moore. Byrne. Crowe. Good approach play from Shelbourne, but just as I said, Ollie Cahill misplaces his pass, and Horgan has help from Joe Gamble. Another one in the Ireland B squad. Dillon. Sizing up the options. Rogers to Cahill. Horgan was there, and that's a free kick to Shelbourne. Horgan, a touch late on Ollie Cahill.
Yeah, a small bit late, and it's not like Neil Horgan's probably come in there and kicked, because I'm sure Ollie probably didn't expect it either, but just probably got a bit caught in the grass as well in that, and it's much of a muchness really, but it's a free kick, and this is where Shelbourne have been very dangerous last week as well, which we saw in the game against Drogheda.
57 goals Shelbourne have scored in the league against the best defence in the division, Cork City. Only conceded 14 goals, and remember, unbeaten at home. Prodded forward by Dillon. That's well played and cleared away by Dan Murray. He's put that one out of the ground, and the football has come back in from the fans over there.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a little joke that they have over there, like quite like it a lot, so I'm sure they'll be doing it most of the night.
Stuart Byrne. Remember him scoring a cracking goal for Longford in the Cup here a few years ago. Now very much a Shelbourne man, 2 league titles as they close in on a third.
Yeah, and unfortunately it was a cracking goal because I was standing at the other end of the pitch to see it go in, and it went in from a long distance as well. And they went on to win the same day 2-1. So I mean, he's a cracking player and he's got a cracking shot in him, so anything outside the box, I'm sure Stewie will have a look at it himself, you know, because he does hit a very, very good dead ball.
That's Bennett's header. Gamble. Horgan. Safety first for Dave Rogers. Now the two managers, what the future holds for both of them, Pat Fenlon and Damien Richardson.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'll both have a lot of thoughts about tonight. I mean, I know that Pat Fenlon himself played under Damien Richardson at Shell, so they've a very, very good relationship with each other as well, in the sense that they have a lot of respect for each other. So, you know, I'm sure they'll congratulate each other on whoever wins tonight, or whatever the result may be.
Possibilities for Shelbourne here. Alan Moore delayed just to allow players to get forward. Cahill forward on this near side. Ollie Cahill for Shelbourne. Hangs up the cross, headed away by Dan Murray, the Cork City skipper. Good clearance as well, wasn't it, Horgan? That wasn't so good. Byrne. Moore calling for it far side. He goes instead for Dillon. Moore wearing 15 just to his left. Here he is. Help from O'Halloran. Scored last Friday against Drogheda, Greg O'Halloran.
Yeah, he done very well, and at half-time I had him coming off with Tony O'Donoghue, so in fairness to him, he done very, very well and got a great goal. Fortunate for him, he was dropped after.
Now O'Halloran with the shot, but that's never going to trouble Michael Devine.
I think even going back to the Ollie Cahill incident there, I mean, I think that should be a big tactic for Shelbourne tonight. I mean, he's taken on Neil Horgan very first ball there, and he's got a great ball in the box, but the centre forward stood still, and you know, Dan Murray, in fairness, have got a great header. So it's something that Shells need to look at there, because Ollie does put a great ball into the box, and both Glenn Crowe and Gary O'Neill need to start attacking the chances when they do come in.
Colin Hawkins. Dillon. Given away. Neil Horgan. Neil Fenn. O'Donovan wants it close. Shelbourne with plenty back, and that's through to O'Donovan. Well controlled, but no way through Jamie Harris. And Harris eventually putting it out of play. Good defending by the big number 5 for Shelbourne.
Yeah, different class by him, because he's a box of tricks, Roy O'Donovan, at the moment.
All the way across towards Billy Woods. Danny Murphy. Call him the Cockney Rebel.
It'll be interesting what his nickname will be in Motherwell if that's where he's going, if that's the case.
Will they understand it, or will he understand them?
Should be a bit of fun with the team talks.
A good intervention from Jamie Harris. This is it again.
Yeah, he's done very, very well. I mean, Roy's tried a little megs on him, but in fairness to Jamie Harris, experienced campaigner, marked him out of it and defended really, really well, and done the simple things correct and put it out for a throw-in. So good defending.
Equally as comfortable up front, of course. It's an option for Pat Fenlon he's used in the past. Here's O'Neill for Shelbourne, and Moore is running, but tracked all the way by Billy Woods. That was good play from Woods. Covered a lot of ground to stay with Alan Moore.
Yeah, he's done really, really well there, Billy Woods. Tracked excellence, you know. I mean, that again, that's not given credit for, you know. But something I was just noticing there as well, there, a lot of the players seem to be slipping on the surface, and just wondering if a few of them have been caught out with the surface, you know, and I'm just wondering if a few of them will change their studs or to studs at half-time.
Well, it's this debate we've been used to in Gaelic games about blades and studs. This is why the free kick was given to Cork.
Yeah, I mean, he's just come out, he's letting people know he's there, and that's very important to do as well.
Gamble. Now Horgan. Fenn looking for it close to him. Sideways to Dan Murray. Now Billy Woods. Sean Dillon is the defender. Moore also covering him. And Woods trying to trick his way through. Just couldn't get away from Dillon. Horgan. Killian Lorden. His younger brother is part of the Cork City squad too. Here he is wearing 14. Too easy for Greg O'Halloran. Byrne held that up extremely well. He's got the captain's armband on tonight with Owen Heary still out injured. O'Neill got away from Gamble easily. Cahill. Byrne. Now Dillon. Flag stays down and O'Neill through. But Devine claimed it. The flag stayed down.
Yeah, it's very good and patient play by Shelbourne. And in fairness, Gary O'Neill, he's played on the shoulder of the last man and just on the half turn, and the flag was correct to stay down, and if the ball I think just kicked off the surface quickly, that was it.
And the flag went up that time for offside.
Yeah, well, you know, here's the, you know, you're looking at him. I mean, in fairness to him, he's a busy little player, you know, Gary O'Neill, and he scored a lot of goals for Shelbourne off the bench this year. I mean, here it is again. I mean, it's a good ball in by Sean Dillon, a bit up in the air, and it's just skipped, and you know, Mick Devine has sort of hesitated and sort of wondered if it was going to skip, if it was not going to skip, and in the end it was comfortable from Mick Devine. But in fairness to Gary O'Neill, he, you know, plays on the last man.
Well, they should be underway about a minute or two at Richmond Park in the Derry Pats game.
I think that's good even to see tonight as well. I mean, it's not the best of nights in Cork, and but there's a cracking crowd here. And what's even great as well to see is the travelling Shelbourne support. I mean, obviously they're hoping that they can win the league title down here tonight, and it's great to see, and you know, it's very important, and I'm sure the chairman of Cork City Football Club will be delighted to see a crowd in his last game.
Well, that's Harris again coming through, almost a carbon copy of the first foul on Neil Fenn. Same again. Free kick to Cork City in a threatening position.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, fair play to Neil Fenn. He stood his ground, you know, and it's a tactic that you need to use when you're up front. And the ball has come in, and he's just stood his ground, and he's got the free kick there, and you know, rightly so. And a dangerous position because both Fenn and Danny Murphy can really strike these balls from this distance.
And if they decide to put it into the penalty area, Murray and Bennett have come up from centre-back. Billy Wood's also there. Colin O'Brien just hanging around. You see him centre your picture outside the penalty area. But it's Fenn who's going to drill it through. Took a little nick. It's gone out for a corner.
Yeah, and rightly so from that distance with the way the weather is and the way the grass is. I mean, here it is again. I mean, it's just cost Alan Moore on the outside, and it's just nicked off the edge of his shoulder. Looks like, yeah, off his head actually, and it's just gone wide of the post, and Steve Williams had it covered. But you know, it's worth a try from there.
Corner on its way. Dillon couldn't clear it. Billy Wood sent it back. Harris under that all the way for Shelbourne. Gamble won that in the air. Hawkins, did he handle it? Well, he certainly did, but the referee had given Shelbourne a free kick.
Interesting.
Didn't hear the whistle until after it seemed he'd handled the football, but the referee decided to give Shelbourne and Colin Hawkins a free kick.
Very interesting that, I mean, because none of us heard it, and I mean, they're saying that Dan Murray has caused a free kick here, but like, we didn't hear the whistle, and he caught the ball there, you know, and it was headed back, and he must have heard it better than us. I mean, here it is again. I mean, little push in the back, and he's come out with the head, so definitely, I mean, he is shoved.
It's just the kind of the choreography of it. The whistle didn't sound until after the ball had hit Colin Hawkins on his left arm.
Taking a little chance though, doing something like that, you know. When you do it, I mean, you're hoping that the referee's on the same wavelength as you.
That wind is starting to get a little stronger, and it's favouring Cork City. You saw that time Steve Williams didn't get great distance on that ball as he kicked it forward. Bennett. Flag stays down, and Lorden through for Cork City. O'Donovan in the centre for Cork. He carballed all the way across, and it's cleared away by Alan Moore. O'Neill. Moore. It's a good covering for Shelbourne. Ollie Cahill has moved ahead of him. Crow ahead of him also. Has to get some more help. Has got it from Rogers. That's Lorden working hard. Now Crow trying to get in behind Neil Horgan. The rain's starting to fall. It's only drizzle at the moment.
He's done very, very well there, Killian Lorden, you know, and I mean, a lot of people talk about him, you know, he's a right full back. I mean, it's a great ball by Alan Bennett, you know, it's knocked out to Killian Lorden. He's beaten the offside trap. He's put a good ball in the box, probably behind the centre forwards rather than in front of them. But in fairness for the young lad, you know, I mean, he is a right full back or centre half, and Damien used him in the European games quite a bit outside right, and he done exceptionally well. And it's given Roy the licence up front and play as a centre forward. where he's actually known better for when he came back from England.
Rodgers again just using his right arm for balance, but seemed to catch Lorden. O'Halloran. Dillon.
I think, just looking at it so far, I think both teams are very, very comfortable playing against each other at the moment, and the defences are obviously on top, and I'm sure Pat Fenlon will be happy with the start, because I'm sure he would have said these players coming down here first 15-20 minutes, you know, get in amongst them and make sure that we give nothing away, and that's exactly what they've done.
Another big weekend of sport coming up on RTE television. Here we're live from Turner's Cross. What could be the second last weekend of the league season. Now here's an opportunity. O'Donovan for Cork! They just backed off, and he spotted a little gap, went right through. Will he be disappointed he didn't hit the target, Pat?
Absolutely, because he's rocking on confidence at the moment. You know, it's a long ball in. He's got an electric pace, done really well, got the he's done the hard part here. Lovely little touch. He's kept his head down there. He hasn't looked up, and he maybe should have had a little look up there, because, you know, he hasn't even looked where the keeper is at all there. And if he just had a little look up and a little sight for with the way the grease on the pitch is, it should have been 1-0, and he's just gone for power there, and he'll probably be disappointed when he looks back at that again.
Damien Richardson in the build-up to this game talking about O'Donovan and how he feels he could be and could become one of the best strikers in the league.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's a fantastic talent, and with the pace that he has, all he needs to work on is a small bit of just composure in front of goal. We can't really say that for the last couple of weeks, because he's been knocking them in for fun, you know. But we just probably saw it there, where he just didn't look up, whereas someone like John O'Flynn or someone like that would have had a look up and maybe a little sight for past the keeper.
A little careless from Joe Gamble. All very compressed at the moment. O'Donovan for Cork. Gamble. Did well to keep that in, Danny Murphy. Now here's Billy Woods, getting away from Moore. Now confronted by Stuart Byrne. Now Murphy still available to his left. Byrne working hard for Shelbourne. Hello.
There you go again.
That was Roy.
I mean, that's him again, you know. I mean, he's just full of confidence at the moment.
Now Ollie Cahill surging forward for Shells. O'Neill and Moore also arriving. Possibilities for Shelbourne. Murray let that go all the way across, or did he?
Not at all. I mean, that's a fantastic ball in the back of the... I mean, that's a great ball by Ollie Cahill. He's done brilliantly. I mean, he's got in behind Neil Horgan. Here it is. Comes in. Great pace to get past Neil Horgan. Knocked the great ball into the back of the box, just where Gary O'Neill is, and it's gone through his legs. I mean, it's just a little side foot and it's a goal, you know. And it's brilliant play by Ollie Cahill, absolutely outstanding. And I mean, I've been lucky in the years to play with Ollie, and he does that all the time, and you just want someone to get to the back post. Gary O'Neill did it. Just concentrate, put your foot in it, and it's 1-0.
Fantastic play from Ollie Cahill. O'Donovan's little touch on that. Hawkins comes across. O'Donovan didn't give it up at all, but the studs were up.
Well, but one thing about him anyway, and we'll know it, he's committed to tonight, you know. I mean, he's going to go after everything, Roy, and that's the way he is, and he's just a very, very committed lad, and I'm sure he would have been buzzed as well with getting on the B panel as well, so it's great for him. And I mean, here it is again. I mean, he's just committed. He's going for it. Yes, studs are showing. He's just going for the ball, but in fairness to Colin Hawkins, he made nothing of it and just carry on.
Harris with the free kick for Shelbourne. Crow beaten in the air by Lorden. Big punt forward from Danny Murphy. Put out by Colin Hawkins. Shelbourne earlier in the campaign lost their unbeaten record at the start of the season down here at Turner's Cross, took the lead and lost 2-1, and the return at Tulka was a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, and I think it's been a long time since they've won down here as well. I think Shelbourne, you know, I think it's something like August or something like that.
Here's Billy Woods with the cross. O'Donovan! Oh! Trying into the ground, bounced up and actually came off the crossbar. What an opportunity for Roy O'Donovan and for Cork to take the lead here.
Great opportunity, and I mean, in fairness to him, he's done everything right. I mean, it's a great ball into the box. He's done exceptionally well. He's come in from the back post, headed it down. It's just hit the greasy surface again. Great ball in, technique perfect, headed it down. I mean, that's just unlucky, you know. I mean, he's done everything right. You can't blame the guy for that. And he's just been a live wire for the first 25 or 15, 20 minutes so far.
Well, he's on a real hot streak at the moment, Roy O'Donovan. 6 goals in his last 7 games for Cork City. And denied by a lick of paint.
Yeah, it's, you know, done everything right, and you know they talk about that with centre forward. They're not confident, and that just proves that when they're on the heat, they are confident. I mean, there it is again. You know, it's different class. I mean, he's headed it down. Steve Williams beating it all ends up, and it's just hit the greasy surface and bounced over.
Cross from Billy Woods on his right foot was a bit good as well. Lorden for Cork City. Shelbourne having to work extremely hard. Jamie Harris again is playing well. Horgan. Ollie Cahill putting him under pressure. He's got it back. It gets it to O'Neill. Crow to his right. Alan Moore arriving as well. Now confronted by Danny Murphy. Moore. Greg O'Halloran. Stuart Byrne. Greg O'Halloran is getting serious stick, but he would have expected that. Sean Dillon hangs it up there. Always going to be easier for Dan Murray to win that than for Gary O'Neill. Now O'Donovan colliding with Hawkins, and O'Donovan has been penalised.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one little thing that Roy does have, you know. I mean, he does get a bit frustrated when things are going on and things are not happening his way, you know. But I think Pat Fenlon will probably need to have a little chat with some of these players, because certain things that are happening he's probably not happy about. I mean, here's the incident again. He's given a little nudge on the back, but I'm sure if roles are reversed, Colin Hawkins will do the same to him. So but just getting back to Pat Fenlon, I think he'd probably be sort of saying to Shells, let's not give him any more chances at the moment, because you know, we can't give them too many.
Well, the shed, as you can see, not at the right end of the ground anymore, up in that top left-hand corner, and making their presence felt at Turner's Cross, as they always do.
Yeah, they're fantastic supporters, and I mean, I don't think it'll be long before the shed is back up and running for them as well, you know. I mean, there they are. They'll be shouting at the Cockney Rebel, as you'd like to call them today already, Dara. But I'm sure they'll be back down their own little home at the start of the next year, all going well for them.
Gamble and Crow. Free kick to the home team. That wasn't so good. Ollie Cahill. Another one who's really up for it against his former club, Roy O'Donovan. Cahill has it back. Sean Dillon. Cahill out of this attack because he's just fixing his footwear. Now here's Fenn. And O'Donovan needs some support. Stuart Byrne won't pull out of that either. Lorden got it away. O'Brien. Challenges flying in. O'Donovan out off Rogers.
Yeah, it was interesting there. I mean, Greg O'Halloran went in and Colin O'Brien, and he was actually a bit late, but in fairness to Greg, he's turned around, he's gave him a little apology across the pitch, but you know, just showing he's committed and he's not going to try and leave it go here. I mean, the two lads, both Greg and Ollie, would love to win league medals in Cork, I'm sure, for Shelbourne tonight.
Very entertaining first quarter here at Turner's Cross. Still we wait for the opening goal of the night. And O'Donovan isn't giving anything up, neither is Glenn Crow. Alan Bennett. Murray.
I think Damien would be a bit frustrated with something like that now with Alan Bennett doing that, you know, because he normally just knocks the ball side and left and right and just plays it very, very simple. But when he's trying to knock diagonal balls like that, I think Damien Richards will be very frustrated because, you know, they have most of the play at the moment, and I think he'll need to start building more from the back and try and control it a bit more, because at the way it's going at the moment, I mean, the biggest outlet that Shells really have at the moment has been Ollie Cahill, and that's something that I'm sure Damien will be asking Killy Lorden to track a bit more now.
Alan Moore almost through. Neil Fenn. Now O'Donovan trying to pick away through that cover. Rogers coming across from left back to tidy up for Shelbourne, and Dillon belts it forward. O'Neill chasing after it. Murray. Nice. Joe Gamble. Made it very difficult for him, and Danny Murphy, well, it was too tricky for him to keep it in play.
Yeah, Harbour, what's great to see at the moment is, I mean, it's very good football here, and I mean, they're knocking around and they're trying to play on a night that's probably ideal now at the moment for football, because it is greasy. But I mean, you know, the great thing about it is that when you see this happening, it's a great sight to see, and when you have two good footballing sides playing like this, you know, it could be anywhere.
Harris out in front of Fenn that time, who once more stood his ground. Byrne. Crow will put pressure on Murray, eyes on it all the way. Picked up Billy Woods too. Gamble. Now, that was a mistake by Alan Bennett. I think, in fairness to him, it took a bit of a bobble before it came through to him. Byrne.
Took a little bobble, but I mean, typical Alan Bennett, you know, he's come straight back out to try and get his foot on the ball and nip it straight away.
Dillon. Now Alan Moore, possibilities for Shelbourne here. 3 in the penalty area waiting for it. Dillon, too deep. And Neil Horgan asking a lot of Michael Devine, and it's gone out for a corner kick. Well, Alan Moore wanted that on his left boot, and perhaps it needed a cross on his right.
Yeah,
but they have a corner out of it.
Yeah, you're dead right there, Dar. I mean, if he put that in first aid, in fairness to Gary O'Neill, he's made a great run there, you know, and like he had to check back out, and that's frustrating when you're centre forward, you know, and he's gone out now to take the corner, and he'll probably try and whiz this out, but with both Hawkins and Dillon and coming up for the corners.
Well, expect a lot of activity in the penalty area once this outswinger comes in from Alan Moore. Now they all move towards it. Deep corner. O'Halloran got a touch to it. Here's Colin Hawkins. Defender asked to be a winger and couldn't make anything of it. Goal kick.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's Alan Bennett, you know. I mean, he makes a mistake. He's very frustrated in what he's done. Frustrated. And then he's gone straight out to hassle Colin Hawkins to give out get a goal kick back out. And that's what he's like. I mean, he's just a dogged defender. And he's probably, in my view, probably one of the most improved players in League of Ireland in the last 2 years. He probably won't like me saying that because he probably says he's been the best, but we'll give him most improved at the moment.
Another football required. That one went out on the street.
Yeah, we used to have a little private joke when we were playing down here before that the people in the houses over there can now have barbecues when they went to summer football because there was so many balls going in there. So now that's stopped.
Touch from O'Donovan came in very quickly, and O'Halloran was last to touch it. Throw into Cork City. Gamble. Stuart Byrne has been hurt in that challenge. O'Brien for Cork. Danny Murphy. Fenn. Little touch for Gamble. He skips forward, and Alan Moore. Well, it wasn't a great clearance, but it fell to Ollie Cahill. Glenn Crow asking Rodgers to get on the end of that. And a collision with Neil Horgan. Now Rodgers is going to be booked for his part in this incident. But Pat Fenlon, the Shelbourne manager down below, is absolutely furious with the referee. We will have a look at it once more, but it's a yellow for the Shelbourne left back.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the ball has gone over and they've both been very committed to him. I mean, people would probably say that he was probably a bit high going in for the ball, Rodgers, you know, but when you look at it, I mean, here we see it again. I mean, he's come in here. I mean, the ball is there to be won. I mean, he's sort of even pulled out of that, and he's probably very unlucky, and Neil Horgan has made not an awful lot about it, you know. I mean, you can see it there. He's pulled his leg away, and he's got carded, and in fairness to Neil Horgan, he's made nothing of it, but, you know, the referee has seen it differently and given him a yellow card.
Switched all the way across by Murray for Murphy. Now O'Donovan again running along that line, and Harris is there. Didn't find touch with his clearance, but it held up for Jamie Harris. He was fortunate with that, and then Shelbourne looked to break 3-on-3, but 5 back now for Cork. Alan Moore. O'Neill. Shells taking their time, taking the passes, when perhaps a little bit more speed is required to really cut Cork City open. Moore. Cork with 10 players behind the ball, but Shelbourne have a free kick. O'Brien with his arms out by his side as if to say, well, what did I do? But the referee has decided he did something wrong. And this is in a good position for Shelbourne.
Absolutely, and I mean, here it is again. I mean, Alan O'Brien has just gone in, he's won the ball, and he's maybe a little small bit after, but the referee just needs to grip it again now here and just calm it down a bit and make sure that everything is simple.
0-0. Pats and Derry. Remember, Derry really need to win that, but Ford, as you can see, saved a penalty from Colm Foley. How important will that moment be as the race for the Aircom League title goes down to the wire again? Shelbourne, the champions-elect, they've called them. Right the way through to Michael Devine. He just grabbed it at the second attempt.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, Alan Moore, he's hit and it's taken a little deflection there and he's gone, and it looked like he's just about to lose his footing there, but in fairness, he re-grabbed it and it's probably an easy save in the end. But, you know, even to see 40, I mean, Michael Devine will be delighted for him because I know they're good mates as well. He's made a save from a penalty up there, and that will be very important and give Derry a lot of confidence.
I thought it was Pat Jennings who saved all the penalties. Cork City on the attack with Roy O'Donovan. Harris in front, Byrne there too, and Ollie Cahill continuing to work very hard, but he's only found Billy Woods with his clearance. Brilliant from Woods. Right-footed shot, came off Dillon. And O'Halloran takes it clear for Shelbourne. Danny Murphy, a fraction late with his challenge on his former teammate.
Yeah, I mean, they would have had a few of them in training sessions as well, and they would have been at it all the time. And, you know, in fairness to Greg, he's made nothing of that either, and he knows that he'd do exactly the same himself, you know. But I mean, going back to the last incident as well with Roy O'Donovan, you know, he's buzzing at the moment, and you can see that he's going to do something tonight, or he's going to get another chance or score at some stage the way he's playing, because he's just so wound up at the moment. I mean, here it is again, you know. I mean, Billy's done really, really well there. Worked hard, then tried to have a blast from long distance and slashed it into a Shelbourne defender.
15 minutes to half-time. O'Halloran travelled a long way to make contact with that. Here's Alan Moore. Again, would be happier with it on his left boot. Goal kick.
It's good though, the intensity is great in the game so far, you know. It's very great commitment by both sides, and, you know, no quarter given, no quarter gained, and the tackles are flying in, all fair. And in fairness, you know, give credit to the referee. I mean, we did say that, well, I did say that he sort of made a couple of needed to relax a tiny bit, but, you know, if he can keep it going, he'll be all right.
Is that Alan Moore who's gone down injured? Not quite sure what happened to him. And the referee is going to allow the Shelbourne physio to come in. Made such an impression when coming on in that vital game against Sligo the other night. Made both goals in the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, he's just holding his right side there a bit, you know, so maybe it might be a little bit of a groin strain or something, but you know, maybe we're sort of criticising him in a way for not crossing the ball with his right foot. Maybe that's it, you know. I mean, you can see it there, that it's just high up, so it could be a little groin strain as such, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Now Michael Devine a long way out of his goal, just offering some advice to Colin O'Brien. So 0-0 at Richmond Park. Derry against Pats. You know the story. If Shells have a better result tonight than Derry do in that match in Dublin, they could wrap up the league this evening. I'm not sure if the league trophy, we're told that the league trophy wasn't actually here tonight. I believe the Cork officials returned it to Dublin during the week.
And I don't think they would have enjoyed doing that either. I just wonder would they have polished it.
Sure they did. Well, that's one of the motivating factors for Cork tonight. They do not want to see Shelbourne claim the league title here at Turner's Cross. Great rivalry is built up with these two clubs over the last few years. Some fantastic encounters between the sides.
And the great thing about that as well, though, Dara, is, I mean, they have fantastic respect for each other as well, and I think that's why there's such a battle between the two of them.
Colin Hawkins with the clearance. Harris, Glenn Crowe, Byrne, O'Neill. 8 goals he's got in the league.
Yeah, and I mean, I think with Gary O'Neill, a lot of them would probably come off the bench as well. And I mean, it's very interesting when you look at the league and goal scorers table. I mean, now the top 5, Shelbourne have 3 of them, and Cork have 1 in Roy O'Donovan. And I mean, that says a lot the way Shelbourne do play and score an awful lot of goals.
Murray. Eye of a needle stuff, it didn't work. Alan Moore has recovered, thankfully, from Shelbourne's point of view. And Ollie Cahill making his move down this near side, but the pass overhit from Alan Moore.
Right idea, though, and I mean, that's what we were talking about early on, you know. I mean, I'm sure Pat Fenlon has said that, because, like, in fairness to Killy Lorden, he is a right full back and he is tracking, but not tracking enough. And Neil Horgan does tend to push in a tiny bit, and when they get these little balls over the head, there's no one better than Ollie Cal to sort of exercise that space and get in there an awful lot more than what he normally does in other games.
Murphy. Shelbourne was 9 behind the ball. Neil Fenn never going to win that. Harris with the header. Hawkins there. O'Donovan again competed with them all the way. And Hawkins not that impressed with the challenge from Roy O'Donovan. Horgan, well played Danny Murphy. Cahill, Horgan, it's full-blooded stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, unfortunately, Glenn Crow's come out the worse than that and is down with an injury. But I mean, in fairness, Neil Horgan has gone in there. You know, it's 50-50, and he's put the tackle in, and you know, he got up after the tackle with Glenn Crow and went straight in and tackled Ollie Cal. And Neil Horgan, I won't say studying to be a lawyer because he's not far off it himself, but when it goes across the white line, he's a different kettle of fish. You know, I mean, it's commitment there. I mean, he's won the first tackle, and he's got up and won the second tackle on Ollie Cal, and that's typical Neil Horgan, one of the unsung heroes of Cork City when they won the league last year and also this year.
Crow certainly felt Horgan's studs on his left ankle, and of course has to go off and then come back in. Pat Fenlon just giving some instructions to Glenn Crow, but his interview before the match very interesting. Just the first priority tonight was to get the 3 points. He's been in a lot of these tight finishes in league championships in the last couple of years, and the experience of those certainly coming to bear tonight.
Yeah, both as a player and as a manager, he's been there all the time, and you know, he's a very, very good and studious man, you know, and I think he's obviously a bit frustrated as well with some of the things that have gone on behind the scenes at Shelbourne, and you know, he himself knows that he's got a fantastic squad of players that probably with a bit of luck could have won 4 out of 4.
Now O'Neill is in behind Murphy. There's nobody in the centre. Murphy with a late challenge on Gary O'Neill, but a long way wide from the Shelbourne striker.
And Gary O'Neill looks a bit sort of perplexed with that decision because he thinks it should be a corner. I mean, here it is again, and no, it's not. I mean, your man has got back, in fairness, Dan Murphy has got back there and made a great tackle, you know, and he's just sort of kicked his own leg. But in fairness, just shows Gary O'Neill again playing on the shoulder of Dan Burry all the time, and in between himself and Dan Murphy, and that's where he can get a little goal at any given time during the game.
Hawkins. Alan Moore eventually claimed that for Shelbourne, but Bennett has it. Now Gamble. Murphy. Our neutral observers tonight will be looking for a goal for either side. Neil Fenn away from Harris. He committed himself far too early. Maybe this will be it. O'Donovan drills it across. He went for glory that time. Did it get a nick, and is it out for a corner? Indeed it is.
Yeah, he's given a little corner, and I mean, there's a lot of things, but I mean, again, here it is again, a lovely little nutmeg save by Neil Fenn, different class. Put a great little ball into Roy O'Donovan. He smacked it first time. No way that's a corner in my view, but you know, in fairness, this Roy O'Donovan again, he's you know, he's very, very committed and just wants to get a shot at target all the time. But in fairness, Neil Fenn, different class there, little nutmegs.
Pat Fenlon agrees with you. I'll tell you, he just took his glasses off and showed them to the 4th official. We're Cork City with the corner. 37 minutes played at Turner's Cross. Wide for Killian Lord. Just never got up off the ground after that at all. Been marked by 2, marked closely.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it's something that Cork have scored an awful lot of goals and set pieces this year, and it's been a Neil Fenn ball, and Dan Murray has just sort of gone to the sort of 6-yard box and done a little deflection, and they've had great success. And actually in that set piece there, it actually worked again, but Neil Fenn's ball was just overhit a slight bit, unfortunately, to the wrong man.
It was a good jump from Crow initially. They'll need another one. O'Halloran and O'Brien. Now Gamble. Move quickly to Billy Woods. Danny Murphy joining him in Shelbourne territory. Now Gamble has continued his run forward. Dillon and Byrne there, and that hasn't worked out from Cork City's perspective.
No, but I mean, there you go. He's a bundle of nerves as well. I'm sorry, a bundle of joy is Joe. You know, he works really, really hard. I mean, he walks up and down the pitch and give it. I'll try that again. I'll say energy then. And he, you know, he works very, very hard. And in fairness to the lad, you know, he'd be buoyed up as well by being on the B side, and he got a call up to the A team as well at one stage this year. And it's great to see that for League of Ireland players as well.
That'll have to be retaken. Lorden a little bit too close. Really took his time over that. Maybe should have taken a little longer. Straight to Danny Murphy. 2 Cork players forward, 4 back for Shells. O'Halloran's flick on O'Neill. He's been fouled by Alan Bennett. Pushed in the back.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Bennett's just going to come through there, you know. I mean, it's one of those centre-halves, tackles on the centre-forward. I mean, the centre-forward's got out in front of him and Alan Bennett's just come through, and if I'm not going to get it, I'm going to make sure you're not going to get it. But this is where, like, I think that Shelbourne really need to be either that or Ollie Cal's chances out wide in the left is where they really need to try and capitalise on the possession that they get out of these set pieces.
Well, Hawkins and Harris have gone forward for this. Alan Moore is standing over it. Stuart Byrne just ahead of him. And Moore lifts that in. Harris arriving late. And it's Dan Murray with the header across the face of his own goal. Crowe revives it. O'Halloran. Crowe again. He wants it on his left boot. Alan Moore. Little gap for Moore. He drilled it through, but never got hold of that at all, Alan Moore. Usually very, very good on that trusty left boot. Not on that occasion.
No, and I mean, he's normally a great striker of the ball, and he's teed himself up for it as well, and he's just not got hold of it at all, you know, and I'm sure he'll be very disappointed. But again, he's, what, 25 yards out, and it needs to be a great strike to beat Michael Devine, who's probably been one of the best keepers in the country for the last 4 years from that. But, you know, obviously it's worth a try on a night like tonight with the way the surface is. I think going back to that as well, I think Dan Murray will be happy that nothing came out of that, because it was a fairly stupid thing for him to do, heading the ball back across his own goal as well.
O'Neill. Alan Moore. Lord. Billy Woods, not his best moment. He's claiming it came off a Shelbourne player, but the assistant referee doesn't agree. O'Halloran. For a minute they actually forgot to do him there, but they remembered again. O'Neill. And it's a little scrappy period. We need a couple of opportunities, a goal for either side.
Yeah, I think that's very important. If the game could do with a goal, and come back to your point about Greg O'Halloran, they won't forget.
Danny Murphy. Oof. Still has it, Murphy. Another one who never gives up, Joe Gamble. Pushed to the ground by Glenn Crowe. Clear push, and the referee is only a few yards away. O'Brien was going to take it quickly, but decides against that.
Yeah, and it is a free kick, and it's probably just a bit of frustration out of Glenn Crowe. You know, he shipped a few knocks in the last couple of tackles, but again, it's, you know, it's in the danger zone where they can. It's a bit out, but you know, the likes of Neil Fenn and both Dan Murphy can strike them from here, and Steve Williams will have to be on his guard here.
Maybe all part of the illusion, but Danny Murphy placing this very carefully, looking for a deflection. Harris was last to touch that. Cahill retrieves for Shelbourne. And he's found Stuart Byrne as captain. O'Neill to his right. One back by Horgan. Fenn. Sea of red around him. It's good play though from Neil Fenn. Billy Woods. Away from O'Halloran. Here's O'Donovan. Just so confident on the ball. Horgan. Horgan's turned back in. He's made space. Horgan. Challenge from Cahill. Won the ball, Ollie Cahill. Harris and O'Donovan, but they can't clear Shelbourne. Fenn lifting it. Oh!
It's different class, that.
That's what he's all about.
Different class, that. I mean, you know, people look at him. I mean, he's done a bit of magic in the middle of the park, and just before that, ball has been knocked up to him. He's seen Steve Williams off his line here. I mean, this is different class. I mean, it's a lovely little touch. Nothing on. Little dink, and he's very, very unlucky. And Steve Williams is beating all ends up there, and you know, that's why people are looking at him at the moment and trying to pay big money to bring him to different clubs.
Well, the word is that Bohemians have him already. Very, very hard to replace if he does leave Turner's Cross, Neil Fenn.
Absolutely, and I mean, he's done exceptionally well, and he's played brilliantly in Europe over the years, and he's just different class when he's on the ball, and his touch is fantastic, and he'll be a huge loss, and we all believe that it is Bohemians that he's going to.
Alan Moore has played really well for Shelbourne in Europe in the past. You think of those goals from a few seasons ago. That was for Glenn Crowe, but it's away by Alan Bennett for Cork City. Not a great clearance though. Moore again ran straight into Gamble, and Cork come away with it. Fenn, Lorden, Ollie Cahill wasn't holding back. Fenn again. Greg O'Halloran, last to touch that. It's a Cork City throw in as we head towards half-time.
Yeah, again, I mean, just come back to the Shelbourne attack there. I mean, you'd like to think that both Gary O'Neill and Glenn Crowe, when the ball does come into the box, that they'll actually attack it, because they haven't done it, and there has been some good balls gone in there, and it's just been left to Alan Bennett and Dan Murray to clean it up. So I think it's something that Pat Fenlon might have a chat with them at half-time when balls go in the box, to actually make a challenge for it and have a go trying to get on the end of the crosses.
Now Hawkins has had enough of defending. He's attacking now with Shelbourne. O'Neill. Hawkins stayed forward. Hawkins with a touch and straight at Devine. I wonder if that had fallen to maybe Glenn Crowe or even Stuart Byrne or O'Neill. Would the end product have been different? But very good running forward by Colin Hawkins.
Yeah, brilliant. And I mean, we saw it last week as well. He made a great run as well and got on at the end of one and scored, but was actually blown up for offside. And it's a great ball in, and you know, unfortunately for him, he's a defender up centre forward. I mean, here it is again. I mean, it's come up. I mean, the ball is knocked up to him. It's a great ball in again by Gary O'Neill. And in fairness, it's a very difficult thing to do, to try and catch it on the run like that and put it into the back of the net. And I'm sure he'd be a bit disappointed, but in fairness to him, you know, he's done it last week, he's done it this week, so they need to be a bit wary of a Cork City too.
Into stoppage time, there'll be 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first 45. Horgan, O'Brien's touch, Fenn, now Gamble. Murphy. O'Brien heard the shout from Fenn, but that's Dave Rogers who clears it for Shelbourne. Byrne. Crowe's touch important, so was that challenge from Dan Murray. Perfectly timed. Alan Moore, if he got past Murray, he was clear down on goal, a long way out. And now Murray doing a Colin Hawkins on it, and it's Hawkins who intervenes for Shelbourne. Cork will finish this first half attacking.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Dan Murray, he's trying to do a Colin Hawkins there, and they're all committed, but I think the game only needs a little goal here, and because it's had everything else, and the commitment's been fantastic, and hopefully the managers won't spoil it at half-time by making a few tactical changes and just let a little goal early and open it up totally.
Now Horgan, that's O'Halloran in front of him, never got hold of that outside of the right boot, and always screwing wide of Steve Williams' near post.
Yeah, Neil Horgan there, and sure, he's probably seen the lights there for a second, but I mean, he has scored a few like that in the past.
Just wonder, Pat, who will be the happier manager at the break?
I think Pat Fenlon probably will be, because I mean, you know, Cork have had probably clear-cut chances with Roy O'Donovan's one that went off the bar, and obviously the 1 or 2 shots, you know. But you know, I think what he said already. I think he'll look at the couple of chances that were put in the box and they haven't attacked them. So, you know, he's probably a lot happier, I would think, and especially coming down here, going in 0-0, he'll be more happier. So I think it'll be Pat Fenlon. I'm sure Damien will have a few words, and hopefully they'll come up all guns blazing for the second half.
Always a very difficult place for teams to come and play their football and try and leave with a victory. Cork City unbeaten at home in the league this season, and there is the whistle for the end of the first half. Some very bright moments. It's been full-blooded, it's been committed, passionate. Roy O'Donovan had some really fine moments during that first half. You think of the header that he headed into the ground, and then it came off the woodwork that denied Cork the lead. Shelbourne have been promising too in attack, but well, the league champions against the champions-elect. At half-time, it's Cork City 0, Shelbourne 0 at Turner's Cross. Let's join Tony O'Donoghue.
Thanks very much indeed, Darren. With Dave Hill, assistant manager of Cork City. Dave, you'll have been pleased with the chances you created in the first half.
Yeah, we had a couple of chances there. Maybe we should have took 1 or 2, but yeah, I'm not too disappointed. If we keep playing like that, get the ball down in the second half, I think we'd play a lot better.
Two teams that know each other very well. It's very tight. They're very evenly matched, it seems.
It was, but for 20 minutes there, it was end-to-end stuff. It's like a 5-a-side, so I think we're going to have to cut down on that and, as I say, get the ball on the floor a bit more and play in there off, and I think we could do it.
You don't particularly want Shells to win the league here in Turner's Cross, do you?
No way. Not a chance. No.
OK, Dave Hill, thanks very much indeed for joining us. It's scoreless here at half-time in Turner's Cross. It's Cork City 0, Shelbourne 0. Join us for analysis after this break.
you've been waiting for. Bernard Dunn meets Ishan Pickering, and it's coming to you live from the Point Depot. Pro Box Live, Saturday at 10:30 on RTE2. It's the fight you don't want to miss.
There's a new light beer in town, which means that you now have a choice to make. But when you savor the pure, fresh, clean taste of this light beer, you'll see the choice is easy. Bud Light, the best tasting light beer.
At the Carphone Warehouse, we've got all 4 networks: Vodafone, O2, Meteor and 3, which means we're able to recommend the one that's best for you. We also guarantee you won't find a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, we promise to match it.
O'Gara, little bounce. It's O'Driscoll's! Brian O'Driscoll!
Ireland's Triple Crown 2006.
Can he get there? Yes!
Double DVD out now.
New Listerine Advanced Tartar Control helps keep teeth naturally white by protecting against tartar buildup. 7 in 10 adults have tartar, which attracts stains. To fight plaque and tartar even between teeth, for a naturally white smile, try new Listerine Advanced Tartar Control.
Now look at him, baby. I'm gonna lay back down. Now look at him, baby. I'm gonna lay back down. Well, the blues ain't nothing but worry all on your mind.
Good afternoon to you. I can see it now. There it is. It's coming up on me screen. Gift grub, an enormous response to this one. It's as obvious as the nose on me face.
You'll find the Sony Ericsson Red K750i for €179 on Pay As You Go with Meteor, exclusively at the Carphone Warehouse.
Some things are easier than you expect, like banking online with Bank of Ireland 365. View your account balances and transactions, transfer money, pay bills and more. One click and you're flying. Surprisingly easy. Bank of Ireland 365 online. Easy, flexible, direct. Call us now on 1890 365 365 and we'll set it up for you. Bank of Ireland. Understanding banking.
And you're very welcome back to Turner's Cross. Half-time here between Cork City and Shelbourne. It is scoreless. Another vital match tonight, as we said at the top of the programme, is the game between St Pat's and Derry City at Richmond Park. We can go to Adrian Eames there for an update.
Thanks very much, Con. Just coming up to half-time. In fact, we're into stoppage time at the end of 45 minutes here. No goals between St Patrick's Athletic and Derry City. What's been, so far at least, a very entertaining and a pretty even contest. But Pats will be rueing a missed penalty after 12 minutes. Clive Delaney, the former St Pat's player, now operating, of course, for Derry, making a rare start this evening. Well, he took down Colm Foley inside the penalty area. Referee Richie Winter pointed to the spot. Michael Foley, the Pats midfielder, stepped up. He drove it to David Ford's left-hand side, but Ford read the intention well and parried the ball away. The penalty, a decent height for the goalkeeper. Trevor Malloy also spurning a gilt-edged opportunity, scooping the ball over the bar after Peter Hutton had been robbed of possession out on Pat's left-hand side. Derry, well, it took them a while to get going, but Sean Hargan was on the end of a neat move after 18 for drilling a shot low, which was clawed away by Barry Ryan, the Pats goalkeeper. And Mark Farn starting tonight despite some concerns over his fitness. Well, he brought the best out of Ryan after the midway point of the first half. So just coming up to half time here at Richmond Park. It's very tight, this one. It really could go either way, but at the moment it's 0-0 and it is half time.
Okay, Adrian, thanks a lot. What's that old cliche? It's all to flavour.
That's it, yeah.
Bit of a blood and thunder game here, Roddy.
Yeah, it's been even, Stephen. You know, we spoke before the game about the firepower of Shelbourne or the firepower between the two teams, and Roy O'Donovan got two gilt-edged chances, in my opinion, and didn't put any away. And they depend on him so much, where Shelbourne got three, half chances with three different players involved. But I still think Roy is the most likely player to score on the night. I'd fear for the way Shelbourne are playing. Gary O'Neill normally drops in and allows Glenn Crowe off the shoulder, and they reverse it for some reason. If it's a defensive play, I don't know, but it's not helping Shelbourne.
Dave, you haven't got your Cork City cap on tonight, but would you agree that they've had the best of the first half?
Well, definitely they had the best, but I have to give credit to Shelbourne. They're down here to win the game. And if you look at it, the house is packed tonight. People come out to see attractive attacking football. They know Shelbourne will come down here to try to beat Cork City. It's end-to-end stuff. For 20 minutes, as Dave Hill said there, after the game, it was like a five-a-side. It was tremendous. And I would like to say there about Brian Lennox, it's his last game involved in Cork City Football Club tonight, as chairman. And people might criticise him for not spending money, but I think he spent a lot of money in his 5 years as chairman and owner of Cork City. He's been tremendous for the football down here, and people should realise that. And not remember, this season, because people have looked at it as a failure, but it hasn't been really. You have to get into Europe. But I think look at last year and the excitement he brought to the club.
Yeah, well, one man who's brought plenty of excitement to the game is Roy O'Donovan.
Yeah.
Roddy, you were saying, had the best of the chances.
He had the best of the chances. The first one where he cut inside off the left-hand side, a bit of a hesitancy between the two central defenders. Actually, the positional play was awful because Dillon is a passionate right back, so that drew Hawkins out. He takes a touch. Now he should pull the trigger, but he just takes that little bit of hesitancy. He should have hit the target at least with that one. And then later on, then the one off the crossbar, he was free again between the two central defenders. That's goal all the way. He should have buried that one.
He did everything right there. Headed into the ground, as you're told, as a young fella, headed into the ground. Probably headed it too well, and just bounced and hit the crossbar.
But Dave, you're better off heading him into the net than into the
net. I think you're right there, Roddy. There's no doubt about that. Again, in behind, I think it was a great bit of play here by Neil Fenn. That's what Fenny's all about. And Roy just takes a snapshot and gets a slight deflection and takes it wide.
Yeah. Now, Shelbourne have had their chances as well. Not as many and not as clear cut, but they have had one or two moments. And Ollie Cahill, a former Cork City man, sent him to the first one. It was a
fantastic ball from Dave Rodgers, and Ollie's pace got him in behind Horgan, I think, at full back. Fantastic cross. And you're looking, Jason Bourne, Glenn Crowe in that position, they'll bury you. Young O'Neill, he's a grand little player, but he's not a prolific goal scorer, and he proved it there. But another feature in Shelbourne's game, they don't get enough midfield players in the box. Here's another chance.
Halves getting forward.
Well, they got him forward, as Dave said. It's end-to-end stuff, and when you see a centre half going.
Well, you look at Colin Hawkins up there, inside in the box, running beyond his centre forwards. You have to talk about the fitness and the quality of the sets of players out there tonight. That's tremendous. Just talking about the physique to get up and down the park like that.
Just on the subject of Colin Hawkins, there was a curious incident during that first half. A penalty shout, certainly from the Cork City fans.
For me, Colin wasn't a penalty. I think Dan Murray just leans into him here. He just pushed him out of the way. Colin puts up his hand straight away. It was a definite push.
But if you handle the ball before the referee has blown the whistle,
it's a dodgy one. But 99 times out of 100, it's going to be that result. But you could get one dubious referee give a penalty.
We'd have been going to the courts again, Colin, if that was given.
Don't mention the word, Dave.
Now, you both during the first half were saying to me that Neil Fenn is a lovely player, and he's the kind of player that a lot of clubs are going to be looking at. Yeah. Just a little demonstration at the end there of what he's capable of.
He probably has more quality than any other player in the league, and he's shown that quality over the season. That's absolutely fantastic. If that goes in, it looks like
Ronaldinho stuff, really. Barcelona just a slight backlift, tried to seize the Williams off his line. That could have gone top corner. It was fantastic.
That's class. That's what people come to see.
But we're saying there, Roddy, we're talking about Cork City all year, and Bennett or Dennis Bean and himself played up front. Like, Fenn needs to drop in. Being as I said, he plays it back. Wyatt Donovan has given a new spark of life to Cork City at the end of the season here.
All right, yeah, 7 goals in the last 6 games for Roy and Fenn with a good effort there. Nice to see the steps, by the way, behind the goal there as well. The shed rebuild is coming on apace, but hopefully that will be packed net season tonight. Empty, but plenty to look forward to in the second half here at Turner's Cross. Scoreless at half-time, back in a moment.
Live at the Point 2006 is the outstanding DVD and CD from Christy Moore. This is the ultimate Christy Moore collection. Out now.
Christmas. Very cute.
Phone them.
Oh my God, come on. We'll be out in a minute.
I thought you were just going to buy lipstick.
Where to next then? Shoes. Must have.
It's been over an hour. I'll text him.
Gorgeous. Merry Christmas!
It's November. Make it a Merry Meteor Christmas with 5-cent calls or free texts for life.
Introducing the miracle of fusion, a revolutionary technology and a unique idea come together to create new Gillette Fusion. Until now, pressure could cause irritation. Fusion has 5 blades spaced closer together to reduce pressure with less irritation and more comfort. Flip Fusion over, a precision trimmer for those tricky places. The comfort of 5 blades, the precision of 1. Gillette's best shave ever in manual or battery power. New Gillette Fusion.
Buzz, the sports quiz. Play to win! Specsavers are explaining their prices openly. Pick a frame, add lenses. Pentax lenses. Then add extras, then work out the price for yourself. Great.
I'm king of this side show. The show's not singing. Gentlemen, you have done George Washington proud. The governor's going to be giving you all a pardon. The show's not a thing without me, you'll see. The show's not a thing without me.
Excuse me, Senator? I have an idea.
My. Maybe I don't ever wear a suit anyhow. Once, twice, I'm king of the...
Excuse me, Senator. I have another idea.
O'Gara, little bounce. It's O'Driscoll's! Brian O'Driscoll!
Ireland's Triple Crown 2006.
Can he get there? Yes!
Double DVD out now.
Spar, always there for you.
6 chicken McNuggets for just €2 from the Eurosaver menu? Sense.
I'm loving it.
And welcome back to Turner's Cross. Scoreless at half-time here. The 2 teams not back out yet. Dave, before half-time, Pat Morley in commentary there was saying that maybe Fenlon would be happier of the 2 managers going into the break. Would you agree?
Well, I would, definitely. I think the way Cork City played in the first half, they had created better chances. But Shelbourne are a quality side. They can soak up pressure. If you don't take your chances, they can come back to haunt you. On the second half there, it's going to be interesting to see if Alan Moore comes out for the second half. He seemed to be carrying a knock. So if it'll tell us a lot about Pat Fenlon, whether he wants to win the game with the substitution he might bring on.
Yeah, I think it'll be in Shelbourne's benefit if Alan Moore does go off the park, because he's got behind the fullback a couple of times and brought the fullback straight back into the game by coming back inside. So they have two wide players who could have a go at it. But as Dave said, you know, would Pat be happy enough for a draw?
All right, we're going to go pitch side again. Tony's with Owen Heary.
Thanks very much, Con. Yeah, well, I can confirm that Alan Moore had a test on a groin injury, and he was with Eamon Collins for the second half, so he's gone. Richie Baker will come into the Shelbourne team for the second half. And with Shelbourne captain Owen Heary, you might have been a potential replacement as well. You are on the bench tonight. But how's it going to be for Shelbourne the second half?
You know, we had a tough first half. Cork probably should have gone ahead. You know, they hit the crossbar and O'Donovan had a great chance. But, you know, we had one good chance ourselves. I just think we need to press them a bit more and a bit higher up the park. And if we can do that and create more chances, we might be able to nick it.
I asked your manager Pat Fenlon before the game about the game in Inchicore, because you must have some idea about that. It's 0-0 at half time there. I mean, you could win the league here tonight. Yeah,
I mean, it's irrelevant what Derry do. As long as we do our job here tonight, you know, we'd be happy. I mean, we can't, you know, see what happens in Inchicore or do anything to affect it. You know, we just need to affect our own game here and hopefully take 3 points.
Well, you created some chances. Will you be expecting to create more and win it in the second half?
Yeah, I think we will. You know, with Richie there now, he's a natural right-sided player and he'll push on, and hopefully we can get a few balls in the box and create a few more chances.
Oh, and there's a seat there for you on the bench. Thanks indeed for talking to us. It's over to you, Dara.
OK, Tony, thank you very much indeed. Cork City just taking to the field, and you heard from Owen Heary, who's on the bench, but it's Richie Baker who's come in for Alan Moore. Close to the starting 11 before this game, very much in contention for a place in the starting 11, but didn't make it, and Richie Baker now has 45 minutes to make an impression on this game on the penultimate weekend of the league.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously Alan Moore's come off with the groin strain, and you know, the two managers, as we'll call them, picked up on the point that he was leaving the full-back get back, and Richie Baker won't allow that, because you know he's a very, very busy player going down the right wing. Another thing that Richie Baker will bring to the team as well is that he's very, very good in the air at the far post for his size. He gets up quite high, and that's something that maybe someone like Ollie Cal will start to pick out and get a few balls in the box for Richie Baker to attack Danny Murphy.
Well, Cork City going with the 11 that finished the first half here at Turner's Cross, and they'll be from right to left in this second half. The referee just checking with his assistants and with both goalkeepers, and we are ready to go. Joe Gamble getting it back to Danny Murphy. I think the Cork players, from what I can see, have gone with fresh shirts for this second half. Had a little bit of rain during the first half, but that has cleared away. What a first half Roy O'Donovan had. All he was missing was a goal.
Yeah, and I'm sure Damien would have said to him as well at half-time to keep going the way he's going. I mean, going back to the fresh shirts, they're spoilt nowadays there, I think, with the fresh shirts and everything.
Gamble. Well, that wasn't so good. Just as the second half starts, Pat, just your thoughts on Brian Lennox, the outgoing Cork City chairman. We saw him getting a presentation.
Yeah, I mean, I think as Dave has said at half-time, you know, I mean, he's done exceptionally well for the club, and he's brought the club to new levels, you know. I mean, he brought it to a professional era and brought him a league title, which is the first thing that they, the first league title since 1993. So you've got to compliment him, you know, and fair play to him. And he's put a lot of money into the club that people don't realise that he's done, and he's now wants to hand over the reins to someone new to take it to another level. But unfortunately, it looks like Cork are going to lose some of their key players before that happens, which is going to be a shame when you look at the quality of player that they had this time last year. And it now looks that probably 7 of that winning side is probably gone, and that's an awful lot of players.
Well, one wonders as well what will happen with the Shelbourne team you see on your screens tonight. All sorts of speculation about their contracts being invalidated at the end of the season over reported problems with payment of wages at Tolka Park, but we'll follow the live football, and regardless of arbitration and deliberations over the weekend, Shelbourne will want to win this league title on the pitch, and they know what they have to do here this evening. Could be all wrapped up in 40-odd minutes time, but a long way to go. And Dillon, tricky header for Dillon to deal with, and Fenn Baker, it came off. Richie Baker. Steve Williams had committed himself, but Fenn, well, it all seemed to stop around him, and they were panicked. They didn't quite know where he was going to put this.
Again, different class. I mean, you know, Billy Woods, look at this, great touch.
smacked it, and it's just hit Richie Baker there. I mean, what he's doing back there, fair play to him for being there. But you know, again, you look at it. I mean, it's bad by Sean Dillon. I mean, it's a little flick in, great touch by Neil Fenn, flicked it off his left foot, and Richie Baker's made a great save there. In fairness, and I mean, you got to compliment Richie Baker, and maybe it's an inspired substitution, but he's got back and he's done really, really well there. And I mean, it's all ends up, you know, but that's in the back of the net if he's not there.
Well, Pat Fenlon wanted Richie Baker doing his best work at the other end of the park, but he'll be very thankful that Baker intervened there. Now I think something has been onto the pitch. Well, the referee brought a coin over to Pat Fenlon and the fourth official.
I better not say too much here because I might get in trouble, but Pat Fenlon might be picking up a few bob there.
Cahill's header wasn't a great one. O'Brien.
But I think, Dara, when you go back to the whole wages sag and all that, you know, I mean, the amazing thing about this is when it goes down the history books, you want a league title under your belt and people won't talk about wages not being paid or being paid or whatever the case may be. It's on the pitch that counts. And I mean, it happens to everybody over the years. But at the end of the day, it's when you look at it and you see what titles have been won by different clubs is what matters. And I'm sure that's what the Shells players are thinking about at the moment.
I think we're going to need another football. Okay, now we've two. Rogers with the throw in. Crow's little touch. Too close to Billy Woods. Stuart Byrne, now O'Brien pushing forward but hasn't got possession anymore. Richie Baker. A new series of problems for Danny Murphy to deal with, and that was, well, it looked like a little foul by O'Halloran on Murray, but a throw into Shelbourne. Gary O'Neill, Richie Baker, O'Halloran. And Michael Devine shouted for that and got it. That's a free kick to Shelbourne. The foot was too high by O'Donovan on Rogers. Last night at St Mel's Park, isn't it? And good news for Shamrock Rovers. They'll be looking to go 3 points clear at the top of the First Division. Jamie Harris, Billy Woods, Fenn, Dillon making it tricky for him. Murphy. Tidy play, but he almost messed it up. Richie Baker putting him under serious pressure. Now Harris under pressure, O'Donovan bearing down on him. And Harris just happy to put it out of danger. Out of play for a throw-in far side. It was solid defending from Jamie Harris.
Absolutely, and it's needed to be all the time. I mean, in fairness, he's done a good job on Roy Donovan since the first 15-20 minutes, and he sort of tried to play Roy at the best game he can, which is giving himself a little yard so that he doesn't get caught for pace. But, you know, I mean, Roy was still playing the little shoulder of him and try and get in behind him once they get a good service up to him.
Baker. Murphy's challenge. Billy Woods has played so well for Cork tonight. Fenn. Off Baker. Dillon retrieves. Murphy. Again, it's frantic pace, but looking for Cork or Shelbourne to get the ball down and play like that with Ollie Cahill. Baker. Stuart Byrne stealing forward, and Byrne has done well for Shelbourne. Crow available on the far side, been picked up by Horgan. It's Byrne's cross and it's too high for Glenn Crow. Harmless in the end.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, he worked very, very hard there. I mean, the ball has been knocked in by Richie Baker, and he's tried to get a ball into Glenn Crow. But again, there's only one in the box, and again, at half-time, you know, the two managers, as we're calling them now, they both picked up on it, that they're not getting players into the box, Shelbourne, you know, and it's certainly from the midfield. And if Stewie Byrne is doing that, you know, you've got to get Glenn Crow, Gary O'Neill, and maybe even Ollie Cahill attacking the back post, and on the other side, vice versa, you know, Richie Baker needs to start doing that as well. Yeah, man, that goes back to my comment about the barbecues, you know. I mean, the people over here are not too happy when these sort of missiles come in from these people. But I mean, here we go again, another ball's coming on the pitch, and But again, it's something like last week as well. We saw it with Shelbourne. You know, they were sort of getting nothing, and then they went to like route one, a long ball up to Glencoe. That was knocked back to Gary O'Neill. He put it into the box and struck it into the back and net from 25 yards. And maybe they just have maybe looking at something like that to change it a wee bit, because they don't seem to be getting much joy at the moment.
Fenn again makes space well, but not so good with the pass. He was seeking out Roy O'Donovan. Michael Devine, hello. He's giving it away straight to Baker. Baker trying to send it back in. Good way off target, but worth a go.
Good way off target. I mean that's more like it, you know. I mean, you know, they've gone in. I mean, the ball's been knocked back by Danny Murphy. I mean, it's on Michael Devine's bad foot, but his left leg. And in fairness to Gary O'Neill, he's challenging more, and they need to do that an awful lot more. I mean, they need to put a lot more pressure on the Cork City back four, which they're not doing at the moment. And that's something that they really need to look at if they want to go on and win this game. But maybe, you know, deep down, Pat Fenlon will be happy with a point.
O'Neill. And a ragged start to the second half. Byrne. Rogers. Trying to get Cahill in behind Horgan, but way too close to Michael Devine.
The one thing from a Shelbourne point of view, though, in fairness, in the second half, I mean, they have started off a lot higher up the pitch, so I mean that's given their midfield more to push on with the centre forwards. But it's something that they really need to get more involved, is the two midfielders getting more ball out to the wingers and start getting at the Cork City full backs.
That was Crowe doing well, taking the ball away from Alan Bennett. O'Halloran. Cahill. Rogers. O'Neill, and now Glenn Crowe. Richie Baker made his move on this near side, but it's Byrne who eventually finds him, and the referee is going to take the card out. Stuart Byrne down on the ground, and it's Colin O'Brien who's in trouble.
Yeah, it's a late tackle, you know. I mean, more than likely he does deserve a yellow card there. You know, he's come straight in there, and it's just sort of lost control of the ball, and it's run away from him, and he's gone in. You know, I mean, we'll see it again here. I mean, here it comes again. I mean, he's just lost control of the ball, and he's come in, and he's caught him right through with the left leg onto the standing left foot. And Stuart Byrne's a bit lucky there that he was able to move his leg, because if that's stuck in the ground there, it could be very, very nasty.
Well, he's back to his feet, Stuart Byrne. Pat Fenlon will be relieved at that as captain. He's captain for the night. Fit to continue, and O'Brien has a yellow card for his troubles. Shelbourne with a free kick just inside Cork territory. Rogers hangs it up there for Richie Baker. He's so good in the air. Well, you picked it out, Pat, at the start of the second half when he came in, and he'll feel he should have done better. It was straight at Devine.
Yeah, and it's a free header, you know, it's a long ball. I mean, he's a very good in the air. They've left him, it's a free head, and I mean, he does that so well. And I mean, I've seen him score a lot more than he's missed in that, and that's a chance. Even though they might say it's a half chance, but it's a great chance, I think.
A free header for Richie Baker of Shelbourne. We're in the 11th minute of the second half. Gamble. Billy Woods is wide left. Fenn has moved back in towards the Shelbourne goal. Murphy, Woods. That's a good cross from Woods. It hangs up there. O'Donovan, well, was more intent on fouling Harris than he was actually going for the ball, because he knew he'd no chance of winning it.
Yeah, he just needs to relax a tiny bit now. He's getting a bit frustrated out there, you know, and in fairness, Jamie Harris has had the probably better of him in the last couple of exchanges, and they just need to start playing more to his strength about putting the ball down in the channels, and that's where Neil Fenn will come into the game an awful lot more. So he'll probably just drop back a bit, try and pick it up and play a few little thready needle passes into Roy O'Donovan.
Gamble. Lorden. And Rogers. Williams has to come out of his area. Fenn. Rogers with the clearance for Shelbourne. Straight to Danny Murphy. Well, let's go down to the touchline and join Tony O'Donoghue. Tony?
Well, it might be Shelbourne's night if they do get a result here, but Cork are anxious for second place, of course, and Damien Richardson has just asked Dennis Bean to get warmed up and get ready. He's putting his shin guards on. He's about to be introduced to the game very shortly.
Okay, Tony, thank you. We'll watch what happens with that substitution. Who'll go off?
Yeah, it's an interesting call if Damien's going to do that, you know. I mean, I think he'll put Dennis up front, and I mean, maybe take someone like Killian Lorden off and possibly move Roy more over on the right-hand side. Then again, he just might play Dennis up top and have both Neil Fenn and Roy playing off him. But more than likely, it'll probably be Killian Lorden. I mean, I don't want to put the kiss of death on him, but because he's done really, really well so far. But I can't see him taking off either Fenn or Donovan.
Now Neil Fenn is through for Cork City. Fenn goes to ground. Referee isn't going to give a penalty. It was who was involved in the challenge, but Fenn wasn't able to take his shot, and it was a very risky challenge from the Shelbourne defender. The referee had a perfect view of this.
Again, great little bit of skill run inside. I mean, he's just dropped the shoulder here, Neil Fenn. He's come across, never played the ball, Neil Fenn didn't. You know, he hasn't played the ball there, and ball hasn't been there. I mean, if he's just put his foot in that and just took a little touch in it and went down, then it's going to be a cast iron penalty. But when he's dropped the shoulder, I don't think you can give a penalty there.
Almost as if he was waiting for the challenge from Dillon. It certainly came, but Fenn didn't play the ball. Big moment in this match at Turner's Cross.
Absolutely, and in fairness, I mean, it was a bit of great skill again by Neil Fenn, you know, in a tight situation, and you know, you'd sort of say to yourself, maybe he just carried on and played the ball there and it would have been a cast iron penalty, but he obviously tried to play for it.
Now O'Donovan with Harris. And O'Donovan fairly manhandled Harris. O'Donovan for Cork. Williams is beaten. Cork City lead. Roy O'Donovan with the lead goal after 59 minutes. And is this league title back in the melting pot again? The champions lead Shelbourne by a goal to nil. It's Roy O'Donovan once more.
It was coming, Dara, wasn't it? We've spoken about it, that they needn't get a better ball. I mean, he's just given Jamie Harris a little nudge there. He's done really, really well. No, he's looked up, showed a bit of composure, taking it around, bobbled it, miskicked it, and Dave Rogers is overrunning into the corner, and good luck to him. I mean, you know, it's a little nudge there. I mean, it looks like it's a free kick to me, but you can't credit. I mean, you've got to give him all the credit there. That's a very confident finish. Hit the ball into the far corner, but it's 1-0. You know, he's taking it inside. I mean, Steve Williams come out here. He's actually kicked the ball into the ground, miskicked it, and Dave Rogers gone for probably a better strike. But there you go. I mean, he's deserved it. You know, he's been a bundle of tricks, and good luck to him. And 1-0 Cork City, and it's opened the whole thing up.
8th goal in 7 games for Roy O'Donovan. He's been on a real hot streak in the last few weeks.
Yeah, he's lacking a bit of confidence at the moment, isn't he? You know, and we were just saying that Jamie Harris was getting the better of him, but you know, he's played on the shoulder there, which we've been asking him to do and saying that he should do. He's got a little nick. You know, you could probably say it is a free kick when you look at it again, but fair play to him. He's a very, very quick lad, and it's a great goal.
And this thing is back in the mix again. Let's go back and join Tony again. Tony.
Well, Shelbourne need a goal now. Jason Byrne is about to be introduced, and it'll be Gary O'Neill who'll come off for Shelbourne. So Jason Byrne when they need him most.
They certainly do need him now. Pressure building on Pat Fenlon. He knows all about these tight finishes to league campaigns as a player and as a manager. But they're behind here as we move through the hour mark. It's Jason Byrne, 15 goals he's got this season. He's been a sub in the last, 3-4 games. And he's on now.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a quality goal scorer, but the thing that I always find strange about that, you know, if you have a top quality goal scorer and okay, you're injured, I would always prefer, if I was injured myself, to start rather than come off the bench, you know, and it's just something you could give an hour, you know.
The Cork could be stretched here. O'Halloran, the former Cork City captain, and Gamble has fouled him. He's going to be booked for that. A deliberate, cynical foul from Joe Gamble. He knew Cork were stretched. Shelbourne had them outnumbered, and he felt he had no choice but to foul the Shelbourne player, and there's the card coming for Joe Gamble.
Yeah, it's cynical, but I'm sure his manager, I know it's a horrible thing to say, but his manager will probably be happier. I mean, you know, it's a cynical tackle and it's a deserved yellow card, but they were 5-on-2, and you know, if you're any manager there, I'm sure you'd be, and any player, you'd be saying to yourself, you know, you take the yellow card and hopefully they don't score from the free kick.
Well, Cork City organising their wall. Only conceded, 14 goals in the league campaign to date. The best defence in the championship. It's Jason Byrne straight into the wall. Byrne with another go, and that's a long way off. And a huge ironic cheer from the Cork City fans to our left here at Turner's Cross.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, he's just come on. You're getting warmed up on the side, and he's coming up to take a free kick. very, very strange. You know, you've got to be very, very confident to do that. I mean, he's just tried to bend it, and Wallace stayed strong, and then he's miskicked the second one over the bar. But again, it's just a strange decision to me. And you know, I mean, I might be totally wrong on this, but you're coming off the bench, and if you're anyway half fit, you should play. Certainly, if you're the leading goal scorer in the league.
Pat Fenlon certainly didn't hang around with his substitution, bringing Byrne in straight away when they fell behind. It would appear that Cork City have shelved their plans to bring Behan in for the minute. Here's Cahill. And Neil Horgan last to touch it. It's a Shelbourne corner kick.
Well, it's great to see the reaction anyway from Shells. You know, they're now starting to attack, and they have to attack. I mean, all the big guns are coming up here. They're all coming up here. All the back four. The only ones who are staying back is Rogers and O'Halloran. So they're all for this. So, you know, they're pushing everything to the pump here.
Outswinger from the Clonmel man, Ollie Cahill. Plenty of air on it. That's gone out and come back in again. That was a waste.
Yeah, Ollie's probably played too long down here when the shed's been there, so he hasn't had to out for the win now. With the wind being gone, he hasn't seen it anymore. But you know, he'd be disappointed with that, and so will the defenders. You know, you want a better quality cross there, and Ollie won't need to be told that. You know, he's probably one of the best crosses of the ball in the league, so he'd be very disappointed at this stage with that.
Through to him, Bennett with the touch on it, and O'Donovan is off again with Colin Hawkins, and that's a Cork City throw-in.
See, again there, Dara, I mean, that's where Roy is at his best, you know. I mean, and this is where they need to play him. I mean, when he plays the balls down the channels and into different areas where the back four have to turn, that's where he's different class, and that's where he's a better player, not when the ball is knocked up to him. Neil Fenn, on the other hand, is better when the ball is knocked up to him, because he won't have the pace to get over the top.
Well, this is as things stand at the moment. Shelbourne starting the night on 59 points. Cork City would move in to second. At Derry City, of course, they are level at the moment with St. Pat's. That was a 7:45 kickoff at Richmond Park. There would be on 54 points. And really, Derry need to win up there.
Absolutely, it makes it interesting, because I mean, Cork go to Derry then as well next week, which is another cracking game for them, you know. So they know they've everything to play for as well here tonight, Cork.
Lorgan. Ollie Cahill's challenge. Referee saw nothing wrong. Rogers. And Ollie Cahill has twisted his knee, and he's down and injured. May need the Shelbourne physio Tony McCarthy in Cork. And Neil Horgan sportingly putting the ball out of play to allow treatment.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, you know. There's no malice in it, you know, and he's just sort of twigged his knee there, you know. I mean, he's gone in. Here it comes again. I mean, he's just trying to challenge back, and he's just buckled. It looks like his right knee, and you know,
they may have to make a change now, Shelbourne. That looked pretty bad. Just while we're watching Ollie Cahill, Pat, you wanted to mention a great Cork City supporter.
Yeah, young Daniel Doyle there. I mean, he's over in Manchester at the moment. I mean, he had a very serious crash there last Saturday night, and fair play to the lad, you know, committed Cork City fan all his life. He came through a 7-hour operation yesterday, and you know, all hopefully he's looking up, and we want to wish him a very, very speedy recovery, and that everybody here is thinking about him and wishing him well. And I'm sure if he had the television over, he would have been the one that had been jumping out of his bed tonight so far. So all I was going to say is to his family and to himself, to Daniel, to get well soon, and hopefully we'll see him back in the cross sooner rather than later.
Just have a look at this again. I don't know if I can watch this again. Well, it's probably not the best angle, but it looked a really awkward fall, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you just can't, you know, expect that thing to happen. You know, he's just run back, and it's just got caught in the turf, and you know, in fairness, Killian Lauren has just tried to get away with the ball, and like Ollie, it's his left leg as well, which is his better foot in the two, and he's just got it tugged underneath him, and he's been up and down the pitch all night, and he's given it everything, and you know, I'm sure he would have been a bit upset as well, having it in front of the new shed, as they call it, because he would have got a bit of abuse, you know. But you know, I'm sure Pat Fenlon will want him coming off, because he's been the one player that they probably need to get the ball in the box with him.
Well, Pat Fenlon's managerial career began on this very ground in July 2002. Wasn't a happy start for him, as they lost 3-0 to Cork City.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things with that as well. I mean, that was the year that they brought in George O'Callaghan and John O'Flynn, and I think John O'Flynn scored 2 that night, and You know, George O'Callaghan played very well, and it was Brian Lennox's first game as the chairman. So, you know, it's a lot of things are sort of coming around in circles tonight.
We just heard a cheer from the Cork City fans. I wonder, is that word of a Derry goal at Richmond Park? Well, we'll wait for official confirmation of that. Or maybe indeed it's for St. Pat's. Well, we understand that Mark Farron has scored for Derry City. Another twist in the tale. It's certainly not over yet. Shelbourne, people have described them as champions-elect coming into this match. They're behind here, and Baker on that back stick again. Danny Murphy just appealing to the assistant referee, claiming that he was fouled. And Cork in no rush to get the ball back in play, but Derry leading and Shelbourne behind.
Yeah, it all up. I mean, you know, I don't think the Cork City supporters would have cheered for much else. Maybe if they were getting a free bag of chips there from Brian Lennox or something. But I think if it's a goal by Derry, I mean, they'd be all excited about that, you know.
There's some more activity down on the line. Tony.
In relation to that scoreline that was relayed to the crowd here at Turner's Cross, and that led to a huge cheer. Well, Damien Richardson and his assistant Dave Hill were absolutely furious, and they're gesturing to the man in control of the tannoy not to be giving the score from the other game. He feels that it might let his players relax a little bit, or might even give some more incentive to Shelbourne, so he does not want any more scorelines to be called out from the other game in Inchicore.
Okay, Tony, thank you. Here's Roy O'Donovan. His goal, the difference between Cork City and Shelbourne here at Turner's Cross so far. Just over 20 minutes to go. There's confirmation. Remember, a 7:45 start at Richmond. That goal coming on the hour from Mark Farron. How important will that be? But Shelbourne still with plenty of time to pull this one out here at the Cross. But they do not have, we mentioned it, don't have a good record here. And some Shelbourne fans feel that Damien Richardson has a little bit of an Indian sign over his former club.
Yeah, and I think it was the same when he was in Shelbourne, you know. I mean, I don't think he could ever come down and really sort of beat Cork down here as well. And, you know, it is a very, very difficult place to come and play. And, you know, when you play for Cork and haven't been down there and you know people are coming down to the Cross, there is a fear factor here. And they do, like, go at you, and they're very, very strong as they do, you know. And the big thing with Damien is, I'm sure tonight, I mean, as a former manager of Shelbourne, he won't want to hand Shells the title here tonight. I mean, that's the way the man is, and he's going to be shouting at these players, and that's why he's getting onto the people in the tannoy system. He wants to direct everybody at the moment.
That's gone Shelbourne's way, Sean Dillon. Well, have a look at this. How things stand now with Shelbourne losing, with Derry City winning. Derry, of course, play Waterford, isn't it, on Monday, and then that final game against Cork City next Friday. So who knows? Shells do have that, definitely they have that one game remaining against Bows next Friday, and of course they have that other match against Bohemians, the McGuinness game as it's become known, which the senior council is considering over the weekend. Now Glenn Crowe on the end of this. Bennett, did he seem to hold it back? Baker trying to get involved. Devine was struggling. Well, we'll have a look at that again, but Shelbourne still attacking with Byrne. Came off Dan Murray, and Billy Woods on hand with a relieving clearance for Cork City. But they looked a little edgy there at the back, and Jamie Harris across again, taking no chances at all for Shelbourne under pressure from O'Donovan. Crowe almost in.
Yeah, I mean, here it is again. I mean, you've got to talk to Mick Devine here. Mick Devine is the eyes there. I mean, he's got to dictate with Alan Bennett and call it, you know. I mean, he's come out there, and I mean, he's made sure that he's got the ball and he's got Glenn Crowe as well. But like, maybe there Mick Devine should have showed a bit more. But again, it's, if the ball is going to zip off the surface, he might have been anticipating that. But it's a small little bit of a let-off, but nothing I don't think that to be too worried about. And I think, you know, what Damien's been saying there with the tannoy system, they just need to concentrate on the game and stop letting niggly things around the pitch annoy them. I mean, the most important thing for them is to win, get the 3 points here tonight and keep the title race alive. I mean, that's the most important thing, and Shelbourne's most important thing now is to get back into the game.
Fenn. Another one out of the ground. This will cost the club a fortune.
Maybe that's why Brian Lennox is getting out of the game down here. But it's something that happens all the time down here, you know, and there's normally, I think it's either Noel or Tony are normally over there. They're running into the houses, getting the balls back all the time. So it's probably better than going into the shed as it is, because they don't want to give the ball back.
Joe Gamble. Murray. Danny Murphy. Now O'Donovan and Hawkins getting to know one another. They know each other pretty well, but one holding on to the other inside the penalty area. Murray. Baker still causing him problems in the air. He does jump extremely well. Not one of the tallest players in the park, Richie Baker. There's a flag up for offside, though.
Just like the thing that Shells, you know, I mean, I think Pat Fenlon, as he's been there for so long, you know, I mean, he just needs to start to say to these players now to relax and start getting the ball down and start playing it. As I've said it before, I think they definitely need to get the ball wide here. They need to get Ollie Cal more into the game, and they need to get young Baker into the game a lot more, and that's very most important now. And Jason Byrne has got to get into the box so he's more dangerous, not halfway up the pitch, and try and get a strike on target.
Harris, O'Brien, Horgan. O'Donovan's little flick. Harris was fortunate with that. He was standing in the right place. Byrne, not a great pass. Murphy onto it now. Joe Gamble just pushed it too far ahead of himself, and Byrne, making up for his earlier mistake, puts it out for the throw-in.
And if Dewey's Byrne's ball was a bit better there, I mean, you know, Richie Baker was in, and that's what they got to look at. I mean, that's the biggest thing that they need to get in this game, is they got to get a bit of width.
Baker. O'Halloran. Byrne. Dan Murray. Comfortable enough, and Shell's struggling to put serious pressure onto this Cork City backline. Michael Devine has had a few saves to make. He had that ball that went over the top, and a little bit of confusion with Bennett. And Shelbourne need to get something out of this game, and they need to put more pressure on Cork, take a few risks.
Absolutely, and you know, but I think we got to go back to the Cork City back four. You know, I mean, only 14 goals all year, and there's a chance.
Here's Baker in. Oh, the flag has gone up for offside. Just went that fraction too early. The combination with Byrne. Offside.
Be interesting to see that again. I mean, because, you know, in fairness, Jason Byrne has done very, very well. I mean, he's won a great header in the air, and he's flicked it inside, and Richie Baker has just sort of caught Dan Murray a small bit off guard, you know, and if it was onside, he was okay. But like, just going back to the Cork City back four, and the goalkeeper, it's the only thing that's remained intact all of this year as well as last year, and that just shows you how strong they have been. And I think over the 2 years they've probably only conceded something like 27, 28 goals, which is fantastic when you look at it, you know, and that's why it's very, very important that this is why they have been so good at the back, and this is where the likes of John O'Flynn and George Callan, all these are a huge loss over the year.
Bennett, despite the trips, or the tricks indeed, from Glenn Crowe. Ollie Cahill. Fenn. Fenn switching it, and O'Donovan. Williams out off his line. Williams in trouble. Well, he got away with that, Steve Williams. Harris got in the way of O'Donovan. Byrne. O'Brien on a yellow card, and he just want to put the ball down and walk away. Oh, now, what's the referee going to do here? Stuart Byrne and O'Brien have got involved in some silly stuff. O'Brien furious that the free kick was given. He's on a yellow card. Stuart Byrne, well, the conversation's still continuing. It's a little calmer now. But there was contact from Byrne's forehead with O'Brien. So what's the referee going to do? This is a crucial moment with 15 minutes to go.
I think it's just, you know, I mean, Colin O'Brien is just a bit frustrated. I mean, he thinks he's won the ball. You know, I think the referee's doing the right thing here, having a little chat. You know, Stuart Byrne has gone over to him. There might have been a little clash of heads or something like that, but I mean, the two of them, you know, they're very two committed players, and I think the referee's done the right thing. You know, Colin O'Brien is frustrated, obviously, with what's happened, and Stewie Byrne is frustrated as well, because obviously his sides are down, you know. And
it's, I mean, this here, though.
Yeah, here it is again. You know, I mean.
Now, Owen Heary wasn't fit enough to start this game, but he's replacing Ollie Cahill, who fell very awkwardly, you remember, about 15 minutes ago. We were surprised that he could even continue for that much of the game, but Shelbourne, the club captain, Owen Heary, is on the park, and they will reorganise a little, but they're attacking at the moment with Jamie Harris, and they're happy enough with the corner kick.
Yeah, I think Ollie Cal will be a huge loss going off. You know, obviously he's injured because he's done really, really well for them tonight. You know, Owen Heary coming on, we all know what he's like. I mean, but he's only they're saying he's only trained once in the last 4 weeks. It's a huge ask, but I mean, you know, he's captain of the club, and I'm sure he wants to be out there.
The league leaders a goal down. Neil Horgan's header away. O'Halloran, I wonder will he drop back into the Shelbourne back four, and Dylan move forward a little bit. We'll watch how they reorganise. Rogers whips that all the way across, and Danny Murphy had to play it and put it out for the throw-in. Don't think he was happy with the shout from his goalkeeper Michael Devine to tell him where to put it. Heary in his customary right back position. Glenn Crowe, and that was such an important intervention from Neil Horgan. It's a goal kick anyway, but he's lethal in those situations, Glenn Crowe.
Yeah, and he's peeled away to the back post here. I mean, it's a great ball in by Owen Heary. Glenn Crowe's peeled away unannounced, just got a little touch, and that's different class. I mean, brilliant by Neil Horgan. I mean, you know, again, unsung. He's just proper defending, and that's what Cork City are very, very good at doing at the back four. They're just rock solid, and they do the simple things right.
You can just feel the tension growing. You can see it on Pat Fenlon's face, certainly at this late stage of the game. Tony O'Donoghue.
Yeah, well, Damien Richardson has changed his mind from earlier and has decided, as Pat suggested, that Killian Lorden will be coming off, and it's Brian O'Callaghan, who played in midfield last week against Pats. He's going to be introduced very shortly.
Now that's Colin O'Brien, who is down injured, and it's Jason Byrne who's going to be booked for his part in the incident.
Yeah, I mean, he's just caught a little nick in that, you know, and I mean, like, Colin O'Brien is very busy in the middle of the park, and he just needs to calm down himself. I mean, there it is again. I mean, Jason Byrne is just one of those nasty ones. He's caught him down the inside of the ankle, and we'll call that a centre forwards tackle, you know, and he's just got away with it, really. I mean, he's been carded for it, and Colin O'Brien won't care. I mean, he's just going to keep going the way he's going and be busybody all day.
Fenn's header. It's back with Steve Williams. But Jamie Harris has gone up front. That's part of the change. Heary, Hawkins and Dillon left at the back, I think, with O'Halloran just sitting in front of them, and Harris has left his centre-back position, and he's gone up to join Glenn Crowe and Jason Byrne. As we mentioned earlier in the game, very comfortable in that position. But Pat Fenlon sacrificing a defender and going for broke here at Turner's Cross.
And he really has to. I mean, it's a great ball there by Colin O'Brien to Neil Fenn, great first touch, and this is where Cork City can really capitalise on this with Roy Donovan's pace and Neil Fenn's skill.
He was unfortunate, just lost his footing. Billy Woods. There will be more space for the likes of O'Donovan and Woods to work with back there if they can get the ball forward in the right areas.
Absolutely, Darren. I mean, I think the biggest thing about it is I think Shells are going back to a three at the back four as well, and you know, we can see now that Damien is making a change now and bringing on Brian O'Callaghan to show it up in a bit of the middle of the park as well, and he's taken off Killian Lorden, you know, who's done exceptionally well tonight, and again worked really, really hard with Neil Horgan, and as we can see out on the pitch, Neil Horgan's actually giving him applause as he walks off, so that'll show you the credit that the lad has done tonight for Cork City on the right hand side of midfield.
And he's milking the applause too, because he's not in any hurry to leave the field. Brian O'Callaghan, I think, was with Notts County last season, wearing number 5, and he'll slot into midfield for the home team. And we're into the final 10 minutes. Remember, Derry leading. It was a 7:45 start at Richmond Park. They're leading by 1-0 against St. Pat's. David Ford had saved a penalty during the first half, the Derry goalkeeper. Now there's a foul by Richie Baker. Neil Fenn did seem to exaggerate his fall to the ground. Well, no question that it was late from Richie Baker. Kind of pirouette thing from Neil Fenn. Now O'Brien, they're looking for a corner. They've got it. Rogers was last to touch it.
Yeah, and rightly so. And I mean, I think Damien's done really, really well with his tactical switch here. You know, he's brought Brian O'Callaghan into the middle to show it up. He's put Colin O'Brien outside right, because it looks like the Shelbourne have gone to 3 at the back. And the most important thing now for Cork is that they just need to keep the composure if they want to go on and win this game, because Shells are going to have to push out. And with the likes of Roy Donovan's pace up front, Neil Fenn's touch, a good corner kick here where Dan Murray normally makes a good run into the front post, they're going to create chances, Cork, before the end of the game, and Shells have to be very, very wary of that.
Well, there's a lot of holding in there, and Brian O'Callaghan just introduced by Damien Richardson, having a word with the referee. He's been picked up, as you can see, by Owen Heary. Well, Neil Fenn indeed has gone across to take this corner. O'Donovan staying close to Steve Williams. Second goal for Cork would seal the 3 points at this late stage. Fenn's touches a chance. Brilliant save by Steve Williams. That is a fantastic save, and how important will that be when this league season is finally over? Brilliant stop from Williams.
Great save. I mean, the corner kick is flicked on by Brian O'Callaghan. Alan Bennett's come in, he's done everything correct. Great save. I mean, it's, you know, it's a reaction save. He's got their feet, ball, everything, and fair play to him. That's a great save, and it could be a turning point, you know, because I mean, that's a great save. In fairness to the lad, great save has kept them in the game.
Gamble has made a move for the short corner. Danny Murphy inside his own half. Gamble. Oh, that's beautiful for O'Donovan. Stuart Byrne is picking him up. He beat Byrne, but not O'Halloran. What a pass, though.
Yeah, different pass by Joe Gamble outside of the foot. But I mean, again, this is where we see it. You know, Roy Donovan playing on the last man, on the shoulder. And that's where Cork City can now start to open up Shells a bit more, because they have to push on. And if Roy just relaxes a tiny bit more in the half turn, he'll get another chance.
Now, Joe Gamble gave away the free kick in the first instance. I think Greg O'Halloran would have liked the referee to have played on. It was a decent ball forward, and it's another card for Joe Gamble, and he's gone, sent off for kicking the ball away. I think he actually headed the ball away. Well, that really is silly at this stage, and there's a protest from Neil Fenn. He could get booked as well, because the referee still has the yellow card in his hand. But Cork reduced to 10 men. Gamble initially gave away the free kick inside Shelbourne territory, and when the ball came back to him, he seemed to head it or kick it away.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just something that just happened, and you know, it's just gone by without anybody sort of noticing. And the next thing, the red card comes out, you know, and I think, you know, Damien will be absolutely livid. He'll be really frustrated with that. I mean, geez, I mean, 7 minutes to go and they're down to 10 men, and they don't need to be.
Will it swing back Shelbourne's way? Gamble only back from suspension, by the way, and he's got a red card, and there's a flag up for offside. That seemed to come up close to a Cork City arm in the penalty area. It was an awkward bounce.
Yeah, small but awkward bounce, but I think the linesman has blown up for an offside, you know, and you know, he's looking at a change here again. Now he's bringing on Admir Softic here again, just to sew up the midfield.
Just look at this, Pat, let's sort this out. Gamble heading the ball away.
You know, I mean, in the laws of the game, I mean, that is a yellow card, so, you know, he's got to be booked there, and unfortunately it's a very silly card, and if I know Damien like him do, I'm sure he'll have a few quiet words after the game with Joe.
Well, you know, it's a harmless thing to do, but it is a yellow card offence, and it, well, just opens the door a little for Shelbourne as Cork City prepare to take Neil Fenn off, and they're going to bring, as Pat said, bring Softic in. Just over 5 minutes to go. Cork down to 10 men, but Shelbourne still behind.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, because of Joe Gamble sending off, Neil Fenn has had to come off, and this is probably his last game for Cork City here. And Admir Softic is coming on as a tactical decision to play in the middle of the park, you know. And in fairness to Neil Fenn, he's got a standing ovation going off because he's been different class tonight. But it had to be done because, unfortunately, for a little silly incident with Joe Gamble getting red carded.
Steve Williams, just reflect on his save from Alan Bennett a few minutes ago. A second goal at that stage would have finished it off, but Shelbourne still in the hunt for at least a point out of this game. O'Brien stretching for that. Now it's Bennett. Hawkins putting him under pressure. Shelbourne may as well really go for it. They've already put Harris forward. Here he launches it forward. Crowe is after it. Devine just seemed to hesitate for a minute, but was confident it was coming through to him.
Yeah, a lot better by Mick Devine there, you know. I mean, he's let the ball come in, and it's a long ball from the back from Owen Heary, and in fairness to Mick Devine, he read it all the way and made sure that he just get it comfortable and try and kill the game a bit more for Cork City now. But I mean, Cork City still have a great chance here of even sneaking another little goal, because they've got a very out with Roy O'Donovan up front, who's very pacey.
Well, Softic fairly threw Rogers to the ground, which is not an easy thing to do. Dylan belts that forward, playing on the left side of the Shelbourne team now, and Shells have a throw in. They've only lost twice out of 27 games this season. Here he's cross, Hawkins up there, but he's put too much on that, and Softic happy to see it go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, I think Pat Fenn will start throwing them all up front. I mean, because he's got really nothing to lose. I mean, Cork City down to 10 men, and Shells need, you know, I mean, obviously they can lose tonight, but they don't want to. I mean, if they get a draw, they're even in a stronger position. So I think he'll start throwing them all up and try and get a few more balls in the box. But like Cork are resolute in defence, and they're very strong in defence, and they can shut up shop very easily as well.
Well, still playing at Richmond Park, and when last we heard Derry City were still leading St. Pat's by a goal to nil. With Shelbourne losing here as things stand, it's back to a 3-point league situation at the top of the table. Cork City have a throw-in. The defending league champions. Their last game this week at the Brandywell against Derry City. Oh, Murray. A mistake by Murray. O'Halloran. Jason Byrne wants Owen Heary to overlap him, but Byrne goes the other way. Crowe and Stuart Byrne up after it. Horgan a little outnumbered, but help from Softitch. Not a great clearance from Softitch. Billy Woods only half gets that away. Heary. Shelbourne putting Cork under serious pressure, but the final ball just inside that opposition penalty area let Shelbourne down all too often tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, the guy that was doing the most of Walsham, Ollie Cahill, had to come off with an injury, and you know, that's when the quality balls are coming in, and since then they haven't been coming through, you know, and that's where they've been sort of let down tonight. You know, they're trying to put the ball in the box an awful lot more often now, and it's not happening because they're very, very strong at the back, Cork.
Well, now Dennis being introduced, and Roy O'Donovan, his goal after 59 minutes. Still the difference between these two teams. Again, not a bad replacement to be able to bring in Dennis Behan.
Yeah, and I mean, Dennis will use his muscle and bulk up there, if he doesn't mind me saying that, because that's the way he plays, you know. He's all action player, and the likes of with Roy going off, and again he's got a standing ovation because he's worked really, really hard as well, you know, and you know, deserved the standing ovation, and in fairness got a great goal.
Well, we're going to have 4 minutes of added time at the end of this match here in Turner's Cross. Horgan's throw it, little flick on from Softitch. Cork City down to 10 men. Heary under pressure, and he was pushed by Dennis Behan, and that's a free kick to Shelbourne.
Yeah, and I don't think Damien will mind too much Dennis Behan doing a tackle up there near the end of the pitch, you know, but I mean, not in the halfway line, so they just need to calm down a bit now, Cork. I know they have 10 men, but it's just calm down and start playing the game and just put the ball into the corners and kill it.
Well, Behan left up front on his own. Aircom man of the match time. Pat, who's it going to be tonight?
Yeah, well, I've been getting a bit of stick the last couple of weeks from the managers, as they call him. I think Roy O'Donovan's been outstanding tonight. I think Ollie Cahill has been outstanding, but my man of the match tonight is Neil Fenn. It's his last game for Cork City as well tonight at home, and I just think he's been different class, and some of the stuff he's been doing and on the pitch has been just brilliant tonight. So Aircom man of the match is Neil Fenn.
Still time for Shelbourne to try and retrieve it as we head into the 4 minutes to be added on by the referee. O'Brien clears for Cork. Retrieved by Sean Dillon. Everybody apart from Steve Williams inside the Cork City half as they put the pressure on. Baker's little touch, appealing for a corner kick, claiming it came off Danny Murphy, but again just hoofing it into the penalty area, hoping for a break, and it just hasn't been that sort of night for Shelbourne. Still time for them though, I know.
Yeah, absolutely, there's still time there for them. I mean, but again, you know, I mean, they brought Richie Baker on, and he is good in the air, but unfortunately the ball is coming in, and even if he knocks it down, there's no one actually attacking the areas that should be attacked when the ball is coming in, and it's something that's been lacking all night for Shelbourne, and something that they need to really look at for the next couple of games to go on and win the title. And if Ollie Cahill is out, that's going to be a huge loss for them as well. Then it's going to just be route one here now again from Steve Williams, isn't it? I mean, he's just going to lump it into the box and hopefully get a touch on.
Harris up there, Hawkins too, Softitch, now Stuart Byrne, away by Danny Murphy. Rogers, Owen Heary. Can they get an equalising goal to take something from Turner's Cross tonight? Lost here already this season. They were held to a 2-2 draw at Tulka Park later in the campaign. That was back in August indeed. And is this going to end as their third defeat of the campaign?
Yeah, and whatever way the fixtures work out every year, I mean, Cork and Shelbourne always seem to play near the end, and I mean, it's a couple of years ago and I played in it actually. Ollie Cahill scored, and we beat Shelbourne up there, and they went on to lose the league the same year. And then last year as well, I mean, there was a huge game up in Tulka Park that was 0-0, and again this year. So it always seems to be the way the fixtures work out, that they're always, and that's why they probably become so much rivals over the years, because they're always very, very important games at the end of the season between these two.
Owen Heary. Bennett lets it run through, and it is just hit and hope stuff from Shelbourne. all the fantastic creative football we've seen from them during the course of the campaign didn't happen for them tonight.
No, and I think when you look at it, and sure, Damien will probably be frustrated. I mean, if Cork go on to win this game, they're 3 points behind Shelbourne, and you look at some of the silly games they lost over the year. I mean, everybody can say we all lost silly games, but I'm sure he'll probably look back at this and go, it could have been.
And 11 matches that they drew Cork City, which is a huge amount.
Huge amount. And being without so many key players all through the year, you know, but at the end of the day, it wasn't their year, and, you know, they still have a chance to obviously come second in this. But, like, they're going to have a say in the whole title because they've got Derry next week as well.
Now Billy Wood screaming for this over on the far side. Owen Heary back defending for Shelbourne. Cork, as you would expect, not getting too many players forward, and it's cleverly off the shins of Billy Woods, who just punches the air. He knows they're closing in on what would be a very famous victory for Cork City.
There's the experience there from Billy Woods, you know. I mean, he knows he's not going to be able to take on Heary at this, so he's taking the ball into the corner, nicked it off his shins, and got a throw in, and now they'll just try and kill the ball up on the corner flag here and waste out the rest of the game.
Well, we're in the final minute to be added on. Is it to be another long, sad journey home for Shelbourne Football Club? Before tonight's game, there was a chance, of course, that they could actually have been crowned champions here tonight, going for their 3rd in 4 seasons.
Not that I want to say this, Dara, but I don't think that was going to happen down here. I mean, it's grand to say it now, but when you're coming down to Cork and it's Shelbourne come down to win the title, they don't want that to happen, and they were going to do everything for that not to happen tonight. And the better side is winning at the moment, and, you know, they've been the more controlled and they've worked the hardest.
And what will it do to the title race overall? Remember, Derry leading by 1-0 in Dublin. They play Waterford on Monday. Then they welcome Cork City to Brandywell next Friday night. Bohemians have that game against Shelbourne to come, and then there's that other one where we'll find out about that next week. It's not even worth going there at this stage, but the 4 minutes are up and Cork City are just seconds away, and there it is, the full-time whistle. There'll be no league title for Shelbourne in Cork tonight. And what sort of kingmakers will Cork City be as they prepare for that trip to Derry next weekend? Roy O'Donovan's goal, just under the hour mark, his 8th in 7 matches. The difference between the teams on the night, but Shelbourne very, very flat. They had no ideas in front of goal. Michael Devine, a couple of saves to make, but nothing really serious. But what has this done to the title race?
Well, it's blown it wide open now. I mean, you know, hopefully, like, Derry can go on and win and make it to the last game of the season. You know, you've got to look at it tonight, Dara. The better side won, created the better chances, and Roy O'Donovan with a bit of luck at that 2 or 3. You know, Shelbourne have got to re-look. Pat Fennell will obviously be very disappointed, but he knows that at the moment he's got 2 games possibly won. They've got the stronger goal difference, probably the better squad of players, so I'm sure he'll be disappointed, but he's got to rally the troops and get them up for next weekend, because the league is not over. It's still there to be won, so it's very important. But, you know, my comment tonight is the better side won.
They certainly did. The goal scorer, Roy O'Donovan. What a fantastic last few weeks it has been for him. We were used to seeing him on the wing, but he's been pushed up front, and really he has done the business for Cork City over the last few weeks. Colin O'Brien, of course, remember, they finished the game with 10 men. Joe Gamble sent off for 2 yellow cards. And, well, even with the extra pressure that Shelbourne put on them, Cork City still looked pretty comfortable back there.
Definitely. I mean, as we said it already, you know, 14 goals all season. They're different class at the back. It's the only part of their team from last year that stayed together. They've kept it together. Roy O'Donovan, revelation since he's gone up front. He is a centre forward. He's got great pace. Just needs to work a small bit on relaxing in front of goal and enjoying the act of scoring as well as enjoy the act of making the score, you know, and that's very important. But he's been different class tonight, as been Neil Fenn. And I mean, you're looking out there now for some of the Cork City players, and it's a huge night for them. I mean, Danny Murphy's walking around at the bottom end of the pitch. It's his last game for the club. Neil Fenn's last game for the club in front of their home supporters, so it's a bit emotional for them, because it's probably the breaking up of the championship side that was there for the last couple of years. But I mean, they put on a great performance tonight, and they've beaten probably the champions, you know.
Well, the Cork City supporters very happy here at Turner's Cross as the squad do a lap of honour, as is the custom, in their last home game of the season. This night last year they were ending with the league championship. Will Shelbourne or Derry be league champions? We will see over the next while. Who knows what will happen, but this has blown it wide open again. The full-time score at Turner's Cross: Cork City 1, Shelbourne 0.
Yes, a big result for Damien Richardson's side. The league title may still be just out of their grasp, but Derry City will be looking at this very carefully. Of course, Derry still leading against St. Pat's at Richmond Park. We'll be hearing from there very shortly.